level up. And will get themselves another tier 2 tower.
All right, we're looking at maybe potentially the quickest mega creeps in European DPC.
Then it would be, yeah. I think that would definitely be it. If they push now for the tier 3, I guess they're going to wait for Noob to come back on.
No,
but that would be the quickest megas. I mean, Noob's got bots, so he'll instantly be back here in 10 seconds. Let's see them. They want to go for the records here. They're speed running the mega creeps.
I mean, yeah, they do get a trophy for the quickest mega creeps. I'm sure there is one to give them. And yeah, slowly chipping away at this tier 3.
There we go. I mean, RDO ain't backing off. Okay, he's backing off a little bit.
Just a little bit. He respects the potential jump that they have.
Oh my God, I want to see him keep going. Come on, we're going to see a fast mega creeps. I want to see the fastest mega creeps I've ever seen.
We're missing valuable seconds right now, Lever. Come on, get in there. Right, they're going up again.
Oh, the force!
He has BKB, though.
He does have BKB. Ardio's got quite a bit of damage. The roar comes out. Duel as well to lock down the gyrocopter. Ardio looking to take down Khan, and now in come the kisses from the side of it all. Khan trying to move in onto the Legion, but Funnick, he's still alive. They can't kill him off. As Funnick, he'll be fine. They've cleaned up 4 of them. 2 buttons. Oh, come on, let them get the megas.
Hit the Rex. You got like 8 seconds. 7, 6, 5.
Oh, look, there we go. I was right. It was the second fastest Rex we've seen.
Oh, amazing stuff. But they didn't get the mega creeps.
They didn't. It would have been a record. But either way, it's a fast game time.
To be fair.
21 minutes and 26 seconds.
Very good stuff, yeah.
I mean, level up, as I said, game 1 looked fantastic. Game 3 looks even better. Game 2, it's going to be something for them to sort of analyze, look back over, how they can improve. But we're seeing in the game 1 and the game 3 just the potential of this squad. You know, they can turn up and just dominate.
Yeah, I think that the main thing, I remember in like game 1, you said like, okay, so what was the main winning factor here? And I said Noob. Game 2, he gets shut down on his puck, Lion, and the Void Spirit. Hard game. Game 3, he crushes mid, and like the game's already over. So I feel like for level up, the way that they perform well is off Noob having a great mid lane, but the support's unlocking the cores. So you have to shut down one or the other to get yourself having a level footing against level up, because if the supports pop off and Noob's just crushing, it's hard to stop the pace that they can set.
And do you think they're sort of, like, obviously no bounty hunter, they felt it was necessary to make the change between who was going mid, who was going carry? Looking back, is that something that you feel that they can't necessarily do in situations where there is a chance that Daki's just going to have a really hard matchup mid?
I'd have loved to see the Beastmaster mid, honestly. I think the nerfs weren't big enough to maybe, you know, like when you're picking it up late, it could fare pretty well. So I think they got a little bit too creative. Yeah. And after today, they're never picking Gyro mid again. I feel like maybe not against the Snapfire. No, it was a bit too
not against Noob Snapfire as well. One of the best Snapfire mids in the game. As yeah, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Level up looking very hot here in game 1 and game 3. Some complete domination from them in those matches. As the series, it'll be theirs. 2-1 against no bounty hunter.
I don't think teams will ever try to tip Noob again, because that definitely awakened the beast on the side of level up. We are going to talk about that in the series, and of course talk to one of the winners
after the break.
Thank you.
Sorry.
out as level up for sure this game. This third game and the deciding game of this best of 3 was level up all the way. They had no chill button. They started out early. And I mean, they kind of got out of control with a couple of tips here or there, with Fogged and Cap. And, you know, this tip meta definitely seemed to be working against no bounty hunter, Fogged.
Oh, yeah. I think Noob was very upset after the puck game as he did not really get to play much. He got chain locked down, everything. He kind of just won this game single-handedly.
Oh, yeah.
What was his bot's timing? Like 10 minutes, something like that? He just crushed everything. Taki didn't even get to play the Dota 2.
He did not, Cap. He did not.
Talk shit, get hit. That's what I love to see. I love to see that, man. You know, like, you try and tip, you think you're OG, you're like, haha, we're gonna tip this guy and he's gonna tilt or whatever, like, but nah, you gotta bring the skills to back it up. Otherwise, you look like fools.
Yeah, and there was one person that looked like a bigger fool than the rest of them because the mid lane definitely wasn't an even ordeal, and we're gonna hear from Brian how that went.
Thank you, Sheever. Mid lane is all about the little things, all about the fundamentals, and we're going to show you exactly what Noob did to absolutely stomp it. Maybe you'll apply some of this to your own games, or maybe it'll happen to you because of this video, and I apologize if so. So, we got ourselves Noob in the mid lane. He wins the block, and he's going to set himself up by right-clicking down the enemy range creep, which is going to give him a nuke that hits the gyro and 2 CS at the same time. So starts off with a really efficient trade. He then immediately drags these melee creeps to his range because there's the 2 melee creeps chasing a ranged hero, the gyrocopter, so he's going to be zoned away. Gyrocopter is going to be pressured to use flat cannon to try to bring those creeps down, and Noob's going to hold that creep hostage. He's say, I dare you to hit this creep, as he actually ends up getting the deny after right-clicking in Taki at least 3 times, gets another nuke and a CS at the same time, and suddenly we have a significant CS lead to start, as well as the regen battle. So now he's got another range creep deny for the same reasons before, and we're going to see that he drags the creeps, that after denying this range creep, he drags these 2 melee creeps upward, such that he can get the lane to stay on his hill. So after he gets it to stay on his hill, he's going to have the same setup as he did for the first creep wave and do the exact same thing over again. Notice how he immediately aggroes the creeps away from his own range to get the lane pushing into the tower. He's got this level 3 power spike, the second point in the scatter shot, and he's going to actually level up Little Shredder, and notice how Gyro's going to try to rocket him, but he just instantly uses Little Shredder and just kills the rocket instantly. It's another 50 gold, and he uses the scatter shot to hit the gyro again. So this is what it looks like after 1 minute and 55 seconds. What happens because of this? You start to feel the pain later. So at this point, he's completely controlling the lane. He's level 5, and he's just going to walk to the tower, doing the exact same thing he did before, levels the Little Shredder to kill the rocket, and he's going to chase the gyrocopter all the way to his ancient camp, and this is when the disaster happens. He forces a rotation from a support and gets a solo kill all by himself. The absolute slacking, fundamentals, amazing job by Noob. I learned a lot watching this, and hope you guys did too.
I learned not to pick gyro in my mid lane. I think that's also a pretty strong lesson here. And to be fair, don't tip Noob. He'll definitely come back stronger. Overall, obviously, we know that Noob is a great mid player, and Snapfire is definitely, I mean, it's contending to be one of his signature heroes, I'd say. Obviously, we know the Lina, he's doing really good on that, but that gets banned all the time, Fog.
Yeah, I like when they stick with their guns, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Just when they do. Sure, his puck is still good and everything, but the hero overall is starting to fall a little more out of favor, and it gets counterpicked really hard. They first picked Snapfire.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. There was nothing that they could really put up against it, and he just did excellent. Same thing with like DNZ, sticking to his guns this time, goes back for that coddle. Looked excellent. Yeah, love the way that they set this game up. Even though we did actually like that other draft from No Barrier. They didn't even get to play it.
Yeah, when you got like a laning phase that gets stomped that hard, it doesn't like drafts don't matter
yeah.
in time. And that is something to always keep an eye on, and especially in a meta where laning phase matters a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, it did indeed matter. We said, okay, you know what, no bounty hunter, if they can play fast, they got this. And we thought they could because we saw them do it before, and then you can't really play fast if your enemy team is playing faster than you are, and that's what Level Up was doing. I mean, great performance. This is a Level Up that we thought we were going to see from the get-go, right, Kat?
Yeah, I guess so. Given the fact that they're one of the only teams that seems to actually be able to contest Viking GG, who I think is clearly an upper division team, I think that's pretty obvious, then Level Up definitely showing a lot of promise. I mean, I think that going into this, I already knew that Noob was really good, given his performance last season. I was like, okay, this kid is actually somebody who could appear in an upper division team at some point in time. And RDO, like, obviously he's a really solid carry. And then, like, they've got the brains to be able to back it up as well. I think this is just a combination of underrated players that have all showed up on the same team.
Yeah, and it's looking pretty darn good, and we get to talk to DNZ. Good afternoon, sir. Congratulations on the series.
Hello, thank you.
Hello. I have to ask, this was the first series that we saw from you in this season of DPC that you're playing the Keeper of the Light. How did that came to be as a position 4? Because obviously we see it before, but normally we see it as a position 5. What makes it good for you for the 4?
I mean, I tried it in a pub and I really liked it. Then we tried it in a scrim and we were winning every game with it. I just think the hero is way too aggressive on lane. You cannot sustain the harass and like you basically make sure you and your offlaner get farmed no matter what the matchup you're playing against. Like there's very little counters. And but then I talked to some other position 4s like from like tier 1 teams and I asked them what do they think, but they all like dislike it. They all say it's like position 5 hero because of like what you don't fit the role of like what usually position 4 does. But I disagreed because I just think it's still really broken and people just aren't used to the amount of damage you deal during the laning stage, and you just get an early item like Veil, Mech, Solar, whatever you need, and it's borderline broken. So yeah, it's hard to play against.
We saw that. Definitely no Bounty Hunter struggled versus your Keeper of the Light. Also curious, the third game, you were going up against the IO Gyro again. Was that something that you were expecting and were ready for, or did it come as a surprise that they were first 2-ing those?
We were thinking, like, we were talking outside after the game too. What do we ban? But we kinda were like, we were expecting them, but not at the first phase. You know, we were like, we're gonna let them do it in the second phase because we have answers this time. And like, Flash is a good IO player, and they play the map well. That's why they beat us game 2. They just played the map much better than us, and they caught us by surprise. So, and then I said, like, I just want Coral. If they pick this lane, give me Coral. I'm gonna win the lane and game alone. So yeah, I was very confident.
Damn, nice. Hey, DNC, just have a question about how, was there any reactions when Noob does get tipped after having that rough game 2, comes in with his Snapfire? You know, how do you feel about that? Because he played so well that last game. He looked like he was almost fueled because of those tips.
He was, for sure. He's a very calm player. He's very, like, you know, positive. And after game 2, he was a bit more silent, but he said, you know, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna stomp him again. Don't worry. And when when they tip him, we were all like started screaming in TeamSpeak. So, like, I mean, some, you know, hype swear words that I'm not gonna say now. But we were ready for war. You know, they ignite the fire in him and all of us. So we are here to revenge our boy.
Hell yeah.
All right, so I was actually looking. I didn't know that your first roster was on Level Up back in 2016 with Wagamama.
Yes.
So I was curious, how do you feel about your progression as a player? Looking back on your starting team with Wagamama, where you're at now, do you feel like it's been a steady journey that you've been improving every single time as a player? Because I'm not sure if you heard, but like we felt like you guys were underrated players. Do you feel that way about yourself?
I mean, I agree. I don't know if it's cocky to say so, but
no,
because I'm in scene for like 4 years now, and people forget that like I'm playing against best players in the world. Like Europe is like progressively with time like the hardest region. So I'm being gatekept by all these amazing players. So you know, it's hard for me to have results. I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying, but that at the same time made me a much better player, and like I'm just here to perform. I'm here to, you know, play with my boys, have fun, and steadily, you know, trying to become better and better and better. You know, I could for sure do some things different and, you know, improve on some things, but I'm very happy with how I'm, you know, working, my work ethic and everything, and I'm just happy to perform.
So part of progress as in any sort of career is setting yourself goals. So do you have a goal in mind in the next year, 2 years, anything like that?
I mean, the ideal goal is TI. You know, it's like always like a dream for every player. I know sometimes the reality hits and like it's super hard, but I'm still trying. You know, I don't regret anything. I don't want to regret anything. So I don't know. It's like to go to TI and do well. I don't know, just to go on lands basically, and just show that we can play Dota no matter who I play with. Because now I'm playing with 4 amazing players. I always play with 4 amazing players, and I just do my best to, you know, perform with them, and so we do something together.
All right, hell yeah.
Yeah, it showed today. You guys looked on fire, especially that third game. DNZ, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. We hope to talk to you again in the future, and enjoy your victory.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. And we can take a look at the standings because Level Up, we said it before already, they are the team at the moment that is listed in second position right below Team Viking. That is the only team that they lost against so far. But this team is on the rise here, Fogged.
Yeah, and I think some of these unorthodox picks could really catch people off guard. Like we saw that they kind of expected it, even though the Snapfire was gonna go mid. We saw those bans like the Enchantress, the Witch Doctor, and stuff like that, and they still couldn't do anything about it. I think that is a testament in its own. Also, DNZ just having confidence to go against what other pro players say.
Yeah.
Saying, you know what, I don't care if you guys say it's a 5. I'm still gonna play it as a 4. I'm gonna crush it. His bounty too. You know, I love seeing players just have confidence in themselves and what they believe in.
Yeah, it worked really well.
Big test coming up. They play Chicken Fighters next week, so that is, I think in some ways the final test. Like they have Team Ball as the last week 6, and they definitely shouldn't slouch on that series. But obviously, Chicken Fighters were the kind of de facto. Okay, they're going to be the team that gets second, and obviously they've been looking weak, but you can't necessarily count them out. So
you cannot, definitely not. We're going to, of course, find out how that plays out later on in the tournament. And of course, we're going to still see Chicken Fighters fight later today against Ghost Frogs. But first, we move to the upper division. I know, that's the one you've been waiting for. We're going to watch Team Nigma versus the Hellbear Smashers after the break. gentlemen, boys and girls, upper division here of the Western European DPC League. You're watching DreamLeague Season 15, powered by Intel, and on your screens will very soon be the Hellbear Smashers facing up against Team Nigma. And I'm here together with T-Gov and together with Fogged, and we're going to talk about the series, and we're going to show you all the things, the standings, having an interview and all that. But first, I need to get you guys up to date, because unfortunately, the full roster of Team Nigma will not be representing. It will be Miracle that will be sitting this one out, and our men will stand in for him. We do not know the reasons, we do not know the positions in which they will play. Obviously, we got some theories here and there, but that is the state of it. Now let's take a look at the standings and see how this might cripple Team Nigma quite a bit, Fogged, because this middle pack of Europe, spooky.
It is. I love looking at potential tiebreakers all over the place. And I mean, a Miracle is so important.
Yeah.
I'm really wondering how they're going to swap it up. Like, is Mind Control going to go back to mid? Are men going to be playing off lane? It's going to hurt them a lot.
Yeah.
And Smashers, you know, they are 0-4, but they have taken games. You know, they have shown some type of promise to at least do that. So, you know, it's not a complete pushover for Nigma whatsoever.
I think, yeah, for Nigma, this series is so critical because when you're playing against, like, the 8th seed of the group, you expect to have the free win, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
And then it's now, like, this series for them, they either go 3-2, looking to chase top 4, or they go 2-3, suddenly tied with Brame in that kind of elimination spot. So yeah, for sure, this is going to be a pretty scary series if you're a Nigma fan.
Yeah.
You don't have Miracle, you're now playing with our men. And then Smashers, they're coming with every series, hoping to finally get that win. You know, they've lost 3 series 2-1, 1 series 2-0. It's not like they're kind of giving up, and I feel like this could be the turning point for their kind of season, where they can maybe sneak out 3 wins suddenly after maybe a win today, and it could be the turning point. But yeah,
And
very
then we
spooky
have
series.
an 8-way tie.
Yes.
We go all
Let's go.
over again. I would love to see that. It's very unlikely, but would still be a sight to behold for
amazing.
sure. 8-way
Can
tie.
we run back the group though in one
Run it
day?
back.
Yeah, we've had similar at a tournament before.
It's true. That is true. All right. Let's start talking about Team Smashers, and before we say something about them, let's first hear from Tofu.
Try to re-engage. Sonic Wave comes out though. Koifa's already dead now in Stadia. Running for his life, but Taiga joining into the fight here. Mikke looking for the opportunity. He just can't seem to find his Stadia over on the side. He is going to go down.
I didn't really have the intention anymore to be a pro player. I'm 24 years old now, and I was studying before, and like I was just playing for fun kinda. But since COVID came around and I moved back home because I couldn't do my studies anymore and everything went online, I started playing more and more. And there was a German league going on from ESL. I was playing there with some friends, and since we were doing somewhat well, we got a sponsor, and they got me a PC because I was just playing on a laptop, like I was playing for fun. And then moving from like 60 FPS to 150, I just started playing better and better, and I enjoyed it a lot. I was just playing day after day, playing my solo queues.
Down Tofu does have Ace on him, but the teleports are coming out here. They're trying to just keep them alive. They do manage it. Rasmus now is here, and they have the fatal bombs down. Samel ticking down. He was going to get dunked though by Rasmus.
He jumped from like 8k rank 500 to rank 100, and then the seasonal leagues got announced, the DPC. And I thought to myself that I think I have the potential to play in there, and eventually got in touch with Misery and asked him about teams, if he was interested to give me a try. And we just went with it, and I'm really glad it worked out.
That picture is going to hunt Misery to the grave. The one where he's shouting.
Great. You can just like,
I love that picture. I don't know. I would be proud of that.
I
Like,
mean, it
shows
is really good.
Yeah.
Pure passion.
pure passion. That's
Right?
that's really what Rasmus is all about. Like, you
Yeah.
talk to him, and that's just the definition of him. So
Yeah, very happy to hear from Tofu as well, and I think he definitely has proven that he has what it takes
Yes.
to hold his own here in this upper division T.
Yeah, obviously working with Tofu in the kind of when we were in the lower division. Yeah, he's a very kind of astute individual. He comes to kind of the team discussion with his own opinions, and he doesn't just kind of fall in line to being like a yes man. So I think that kind of characteristic helps kind of new blood enter the scene.
Yeah.
And even though Smashers aren't doing so well right now, Tofu, it is refreshing, because also you have to remember he was a position 4 player. Joining Smashers, he transitioned then into a 5. So he's only been playing the role now for maybe 4 or so months, and yeah, still performing pretty well.
Yep, definitely is performing well. Someone who has also been performing well is Mind Control on the side of Team Nigma, and we hear from him and why he's still sticking with the team.
Playing 6 years with the same players is the the reason is I really like them. I really like my teammates, and I don't see a reason to leave them, even when we had rough times. Like I always believe in them. Kuro, I feel like he's a big brother to me. Maroon and Amr are like one of my best friends in a way. And my manager Mo, like he's also like a big brother to me in a way. Of course, sometimes I had the periods where really bad times where I was not believing in them or they didn't believe in me, whatever the case is. But it happens to everyone.
They're able to kill the egg in time. RTW heads straight over towards Wish. Wish will still end up going down. Now over towards Skylark. Skylark to fall. Focus as well. 4 dead.
Sometimes I do make the calls. It depends, like, let's say you're playing at center and you're 0-10. You're not really gonna make a call, you know. You're 0-10 and you don't have Blink Dagger. You're playing that game, you know, you're not gonna make a call. So yeah, I think it's for every team anyway. Help me, please. I need my Blink Dagger. No, nobody cares, you know. You're the offlaner.
Yeah, offlaners are off and they're thrown and, you know, to the wolves, to the side. It's like, okay, good luck.
At least he still says he likes his teammates, even though they
Yes.
throw him to the wolves every single time. So there's that.
There is that.
Luckily, this patch has come also actually pretty offlaner friendly.
True.
It is.
So
absolutely
now
True.
he's had his hardships, and now it's like, wait, this is my patch to show off and actually just, you know, buy a Vanguard. It's kind of crazy.
Yep.
And maybe this game, I mean, if he is playing the mid lane, maybe he'll get a little bit of different treatment this time round. You know, you get support, help him out left, right, and center. No?
I'm really curious to see if he is going to be playing it. He used to so much. I loved his Shadow Fiend back in the day when he did like start getting noticed in the scenes.
What's up, T?
I was just trying to, I mean, the last time that Nigma
Yes.
had to do the role swaps at the major, it didn't go too well. So I'm trying to work out, they've already experienced Ironman in certain roles, so maybe not put him in
Yes.
those roles would be optimal.
So we saw him do well as position 5 when Kuro was sitting out. We also saw that the team without mind control in the off lane falling apart like a house of cards.
Exactly. So maybe you put Kuroki into like a carry role. You put RTW, who's a pub star. He's probably played enough mid.
That's fair.
Actually,
Win condition can go mid.
Okay.
He could just play carries from mid.
That's
a more active style Kuroki, casual 5 RMN. You're suddenly just playing any hero mid on the carry.
Okay.
That actually does sound. That sounds
could
better.
work. It
That
could
actually
work.
does. Yeah.
All right. Let's find out, though, how this team is going to play, what they're going to draft for each other, who's going to play which role, of course, with Miracle not playing today. We're going to find all of that out as we're ready for the draft. After the break! The first game of this best of 3 between Hellbear Smashers and Team Nigma coming on your screens here in the upper division of the Western European DPC League. You're watching DreamLeague Season 15 already, and it's powered by Intel, of course. And for this game, in case you missed it, Miracle will not be playing today, and instead there's a stand-in. Coach Aramen is standing in for him, and we do not yet know what the roles will be for these players. So we're going to find out what's going to happen. We are in the draft already. Ancient Apparition first pick. We saw that actually working out very well yesterday for Brave.
Wow. And they banned the heroes that AA actually can usually do that. That's a bit intriguing.
Yeah,
Look at that.
That's the thing.
But it's the savers, you know, they're so popular. Nigma, they do end up taking the other saver, and they do take one of my new favorite heroes, I think, after yesterday in particular, and after watching some SEA games too. Willow on the rise.
Oh, yeah.
I can still respect the idea of the bans, which is like, AA is the counter to these heroes, but the pace that these heroes enable cores to play at is like, if you don't connect on your ultimate and you aren't able to match the tempo with a good enough lineup, it can be hard to truly get the A into the game. So if Smashers aren't happy to play into that style, I can see why they're still banning them out for sure.
Yeah, and we do see from Nigma very appropriate bans too. Of course, the Invoker, as everybody does kind of do, versus Smashers.
Yeah, they would first phase pick it.
Yeah.
Gotta respect that.
Gotta respect that he changed his style too, because I guess I've said it a couple times during the cast too. He was an Exort only.
Yeah.
And then he actually, this season, he transitioned to Quas Wex, which I think is pretty huge, even though the hero has, of course, gotten his changes and whatnot, gotten some nerfs for God knows what reasons.
Yeah, for sure. Like when I was coaching the team, yeah, he pretty much every game after, he'd be like, yeah, this was a good Exalt game, guys. And it's like, so when they're running us and we needed it, it's like, yeah, no, but like my Midas, it like, this helped me. It's like, he was very much bringing the Invoker as the pub style Invoker where he was just playing for his timings. But yeah, he has improved immensely on a hero that he has so many games on, just kind of identifying exactly what he needs for the team. And that's why there's so much respect in the ban for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I know that feeling. Everyone was playing Quas Wex back in the day when I played it. I strictly played Exort.
Yeah.
And I lost most of my games. No, I did okay. I did okay. I was pretty bad anyway.
This is something with an Invoker player when they can queue up a Midas and it's like, don't worry guys, we'll get the Sunstrike kills. It's like, it doesn't always work like that, Chief.
Okay, so we got the AA with the Tiny. I actually really like the combo with this. I think it just makes Tiny so much more threatening. The burst potential, it actually is back to what it used to be, that 3x avalanche kind of thing, even more so when they are under it. They do reveal both supports on the side of Nigma with the start too, which is usually a bit of a concern.
Yeah,
teams can take advantage of it a little bit.
I guess so, but I feel like in this scenario, the supports are so strong
they
that
are.
It's not like you're showing like, if this was like ABBA +1, like an ABBA AA, or even like the AA Tiny, that's when I'd be concerned a little bit. But they already have immense team fight and laning presence that you can deal with a counter pick because your carry will have a free time farming with Warlock Hill. You can pick any offlaner to enable the Willow, so it's not the weakest of support openings.
No, definitely true. Okay, so Centaur taken out.
I kind of feel like this might indicate a Tiny core with these type of bans. The idea of you want to be able to jump and kill something, and it just ensures that this mid Tiny will have a good time. And even kind of Ember as well. Even though we saw in the low division, Tiny did pretty well, but that was more just an outplay.
He first blooded him. That kind of changes the whole dynamic.
I wanted you to add that disclaimer real quick.
Yeah, that is very true. No, I do like these bands. We see the Wraith King and the Medusa band, very popular. What Ace has been looking the strongest on, because besides that, he has been suffering a little bit on some of the other heroes that he gets forced on. His Voids, the Arc Warden, even though it was a very particular hero for him. They actually were close to winning that game. It was very close when he did play it, but it was a couple little slip-ups. Did cost him that one.
Yeah, that's the story of the Hellbear Smashers. They had some very close games, but they didn't win him.
Yeah.
Best of twos would have been Smash's best friend.
Yeah, they would have actually, because they would have had 1-1 against most people.
They'd be middle pack with 3 draws.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, no, they still lost 0-2 to Liquid. So
okay, they'd be middle pack with 3 draws and a loss, all right?
Yeah.
Twist the knife.
Bottom of the middle. Bottom of the middle.
Smash's fan. Oh, Jesus.
It's all good. So the Willow and the Warlock coming out for Team Nigma, we saw them do that against Brame as well in the second game that they played last Saturday against each other. And of course that support duo gave Team Nigma the turning point in that series, particularly where they set a very high pace, high tempo.
The key thing about that series, though, they had a kind of the 1-2 punch of win condition on mid with a very sacrificial carries. The Medusa mid, the Juggernaut, safe lane, and
the
I'm a little bit...
Yeah,
the center offlane, exactly. I'm a little bit skeptical that when you have the roster issues where Miracle's not playing and now you are in, that style of play might not really come into effect. And I think it really depends on what they're doing here. I'm very interested to see how they kind of bring RMN into the squad and unlock the draft. And I guess
Same.
It's a little bit easier that they have RTW in the draft
It is.
compared to like a Wii in this scenario, unfortunately.
I think the duo supports also sets them up for so many things. Like you said, strong lanes, but your team fight's just set already.
Yeah.
Like no matter what you pick as your cores, you're gonna have good team fight in the mid game always because of these two setups. So, I mean, I really like the opener. Actually, is quite nice.
So what offlane is actually left? Well, basically all of them actually. So
Most
Zen
of
got
them.
banned out.
Only the Ascent band, yeah. So we got still the Timbersaw, the Darkseer. We've seen Team Nigma dabble in that one as well. The Mars
I love it with
Yeah,
the Willow.
as well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it's super good, very aggressive. You can take advantage of a little bit of the AA. Where you're sure your lane's getting a little better, it seems, for AA, but you're super squishy. And these two heroes, you get caught in a bramble. Actually, you're going to get caught probably in two because the spear will bring you through it and you're just dead. You have such a low HP pool. It is a very strong, aggressive lane.
And that's the nice thing, because like AA nowadays, he's a very good laner, and then of course into the game he has this big ultimate threat. But when he steps out from the creeps to try and harass, he's just gonna get speared into a root, and it's free death. So he has to play so far behind, and they go for a PA, a hero that can somewhat play around the roots and stuff, gives them some backline jump to the Willow to the Warlock if you can blow them up quick enough. But it's not like the pick that goes, wow, all right, cool, that's the turning point in the Smashers draft.
And do you like PA without without someone to buff him up, the steroid, or something to help PA along?
No, and I don't really like PA versus Willow, I'll be honest with you.
True, the Realm, you can't really
always focus him, and usually when I see PAs picked, it's because you see like AA Rubik, some like super squishy supports that you jump, you insta-kill. You jump a Willow, and let's say like it's pre-BKB timing, the Willow can actually turn and almost solo kill you if you're not careful. So, and Brambles are annoying. Roots are pretty obnoxious to play versus early on the PA.
Yeah, this could be the scenario where if Nigma picks a weaker hero, then Smashers can just go for, let's say, a mag, and then they just go all for, get the PA to a point where she's happy to fight. But then I'm still a bit worried about how they even get to play this game, because there's a lot of kind of disconnection between their draft.
And then you pick mag into massive counter initiation too.
Yeah.
So it also might be too greedy, because I do feel like with the Mars and with the Willow, they will try to set tempo pretty quickly because they see the greed on the third pick immediately.
Ooh.
Okay. Batrider as well.
A lot of versatility here with Nigma's draft. Like, we don't know where players are playing. We don't know where heroes are going.
Yeah.
And then they have last
Very
pick. Yeah,
color-coded, though.
Very color-coded.
Yeah, true. Smash is also kind of going for more of like a rocky light blue style vibe.
Yeah. It's the cool colors versus the warm color.
Yeah.
I used to love the combo of Warlock and Batrider. You get upheaval later on, sticky napalm slows the turn rate. You can't turn and move out of upheaval when those fights do come down, and they all do synergize very nicely together.
Oh, look, you can see Misery, or now Rasmus's face, like, like, Homer Simpson.
I know how he makes the noise, but that's what the noise he makes too. Rasmus always makes the I love it.
Oh, what do we pick? Back against the wall.
Yeah, this is looking a little tough already, I'll be honest. Showing the PA so early into this aggression, not so crazy about it. So they're going to have to pick something that can actually do quite well to be able to battle early, because Nigma's going to bring the battle.
Okay, I like this.
Okay.
I was going to say, I feel like in this position now, with these picks, you put the Tiny as your 4, and you at least pick a mid lane that can lane into either the Mars or the Bat or anyone. And Puck is traditionally one of the counters to Batrider, because you can always orb away from the Firefly, the aggression. I have seen sometimes the Bat just dominate the Puck if you have one, miscue, you ever aggressively use orb, but it at least gives Smashers a hero to play around, and for Storm, it's one of his main heroes.
Yeah, and great ways to kill backline. You get like, if you find the Warlock and the Willow together at all, something like that, AA Blast follow up with Vortex, lots of magic damage, so it can be a pretty good raise up of like that counter initiate, or just start the fights first so that they don't have combos with the Mars as backup for the Batrider.
I guess that's actually a pretty good point for Smashers. Like, when they get to post-laning phase, their team fights are built around Tiny starts to fight. If you ever waste Arena or Golem, then the mobility of PA Puck isn't punished. There isn't that hard lockdown, so they do have a really nice combo to play around, but you just need to get through laning phase, have the BKB, and then you're going to have a pretty good time.
And we have now a coil breaker too, right? We have the toss with the coil too, so they're going to have potential for those extra damage to be able to kill off these heroes, which I think they will. AA always does provide you also that extra damage, but whenever I see P, I'm always a little worried for damage in early game.
Yeah, for sure.
So is this something that we're looking for Rasmus still as the last pick then on the side of Hellbear Smashers?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, 100% this will be his last pick. Hopefully he doesn't pick Legion.
He likes things like Axe and Underlord.
I mean, I know Misery pretty well, and every time he picks Legion, he thinks it's a great pick. Fast forward 35 minutes, game's over. He's like, why did I pick Legion? I know that's exactly what they're saying right now. They're like, yes, this hero do wonders.
Do like the Spectre ban. You know, you see the Warlock. It's just it's probably gonna come out. You have AA.
AA Tiny.
Tiny don't do anything, dude. So do like that one quite a bit there.
So Nigma, they ban out just
The buffers. They still they bless. They're like, Rasmus, we know you want it, but you know what? We want a nice game.
We got you, boo.
They protected him from himself. Very, very generous. All right, so which hero is left?
They took out the 2 counters to the Batrider, right? So now
Yeah.
there's not going to be a great dispel to be able to counteract the lasso.
You could maybe go for like an Underlord route where it's just kind of you just out of the fight, but it just feels very clunky. I think
There's a spear too, you know, right?
Yeah,
Like
that's
the spear
true. We've
through
seen
the
that,
Uber.
yeah.
We've already seen that one a couple times.
maybe a Pangolier, just cut through the fight and just have this Rolling Thunder effect.
They're just gonna go the
Casual
Tide.
Tide,
Okay.
Does not fit the color scheme, guys.
No, and it is a very. I just feel like it's a very, like you said, casual Tide Hunter.
It doesn't really have much kind of laning winning potential right now because of course you have the last pick for this carry, but at least it grounds out the aggression where Nigma, when they want to make a fight, they have to use big spells to win the fight, right?
Yep.
So now you have your own big spell, so you can go tit for tat and actually have entry, and it unlocks PA and Puck to enter the fight only once. Tiny has initiated, Tide has reinitiated, bam, the double support cores come in.
And they take the troll.
Yeah.
Looks really good. Strong lane. To be
Same
able
color.
And the
Sorry.
real question is,
Slow him down. Same color it is. They actually did. I mean, the color scheme is very beautiful.
Yeah.
okay, so this is the important thing. It is going to be an RMN on the mid or off lane Batrider, because of course Mars could still be mid, Bat could still be off lane type of thing. That's the switch here.
ILTW will play carry.
And the other thing is too, right? Like you actually don't know who you're playing against as Stormstormer, because that is actually 2 heroes that used to be lane versus the Puck a lot.
Exactly.
Although the matchup for Batrider has gotten a lot worse, it's probably more likely the Mars, but okay.
Right, yeah, I think this is one of the rare times that smoking up as 5 on smashes to get a deep ward just to know who's going where.
Yep.
Because not only is there hero versatility, there's player versatility.
Yep.
Okay, and I do like that Rasmus can at least break the combos, right? Those big wombo combo team fights that are going to come out from Nigma. He'll at least be able to counteract those pretty decently.
Yeah, I think Nigma for sure. They can fall victim to their own need for aggression, playing right behind this Batrider, easily punished by a Puck, and then scaling with PA. So I think this is going to be a pretty close game. You've got Team Red versus Team Not Red, and I'm confident for Smashes. It just helps that Miracle's not playing, right? If you're a Smashes fan, like when you lose such a big factor to your team, it's suddenly the odds just kind of get a lot closer.
But we do still say that the lanes for Team Nigma Fogged look pretty decent.
Yes, they look quite strong. I do like the Troll overall into PA. Like it does take time for PA to be able to fight back versus Troll, and Troll, he will be able to naturally build into a way to deal with that evasion, while on PA it's a lot harder for you to deal with that. Sure, you'll get BKB and stuff like that, but yeah, I think I'm liking Nigma just because they have like the 1-up on the team fight too.
Yeah.
Because they have the 3, the Tide Hunters are kind of the only real big team fight besides the Puck on the side of Hellbear Smashers, so I think I still do go with them.
Well, let's see how this first game is going to play itself out and how Team Nigma will fare without Miracle. We're heading over to our commentary duo of Cap and Kyle.
You know, going into this series, I was looking at it and I was like, okay, Hellbear Smashers, they might do their thing and get an upset in one game, but ultimately they're going to get 2-1. But not the case anymore. I mean, this is a pretty different Nigma when you're missing Miracle and you've got a stand-in of RMN.
Yeah, nothing against RMN. High MMR players have been coaching the squad for a long time, but, you know, not just anybody can replace Miracle. And
yeah.
he's not a mid player either.
Yeah, see, he is directly trying to replace Miracle right here. So I'm not sure if they're going to keep this dynamic. It's always kind of interesting. Do you put Mind Control in an awkward position here, which he's certainly in an awkward position against Hellbear Smashers? They go for the early 5-man movement out the Brambles, trying to create some cover, but Gilger does get the toss back. They quickly surround Mind Control, and that'll be it. Ace gets the first blood.
Love that from Hellbear Smashers. Yeah, they're 0-4, but they've been competitive. They took a game off of OG. They took a game off of Secret. They are no slouches, and this win keeps them in contention to stay in this upper division. I like that you come out, get the first blood, get some confidence.
No, absolutely. Hellbear Smashers, they've got everything to be able to win, and this is the best opportunity for you to be able to take it, too. So, feels like that combination of things, it almost feels like Hellbear Smashers might end up being the favored team in this, as Smashers do manage to get not only that first blood, but also 3 bounty runes. So, nice big gold lead for them already.
And I gotta say, I mean, their draft is pretty solid. There's a reason the panel was favoring them. The Troll ult with AA ult does work a bit weird. You know, Troll can still be ulted by Axe and killed through his ultimate, but he doesn't shatter. However, you don't regen with any lifesteal when you pop Battle Trance, so be curious to see how that plays out. But if you look at the team fight, you know, Hellbear Smashers, just with the Tide and the AA, like, that's so much damage.
That's your experience-based damage you were talking about earlier, right? They've got a lineup that just naturally scales with levels: Tiny, Tide, Ancient Apparition. They've got one hero that really needs a whole lot of farm, and that's going to be Ace. And it does feel like that is the 4 Protect 1 archetype fits pretty nicely into this meta because you want to be aggressive. So you kind of need 4 people running around trying to start fights.
Yeah, we haven't really seen many drafts work out where it feels like there's 3 cores that just need farm. And fortunately for Nigma here, it does seem a bit complex. Like, it's a Troll. Yeah, you'll have some sustain behind you, but Batrider Mars, they're control. They're not really offering too much damage. You know, we've seen Liquid popularize this combination that we see right here with Willow and Mars. The fear into the arena can be huge, but you know, ineffective against Puck. PA could leap out of it and will buy BKB.
Yeah, they've got a very scary team fight on the Nigma side. Fogg was talking about how Warlock Batrider was one of his favorite duos in the past. The upheaval plus sticky napalm. GH going to be jumped on here. Spear through multiple brambles. Tofu's going to take a lot of damage. They managed to pick up level 2. So Shadow Realm plus the healing salve gets the hit onto Tofu, and GH should be able to secure first blood from Mind Control and should be able to still get out. If Ace really wants this, it's going to cost him a lot as he gets speared up. The bramble doesn't quite latch, sadly, as Ace very easily, I think, could have maybe gone down there. The bramble had gotten in, but
that's really nice creep control there. Nigma had a huge creep wave advantage, so they get levels early. Their enemy wave was dying faster. If Tofu's level 2 there, that's at least a turnaround kill, but did not have the XP. A timely level up from GH.
Hey, look at this. RMN doing a great job in CS. He's slightly above. Now Stormstormer still has 3 creeps coming in, but the fact that they're looking pretty even is really nice for RMN. And, of course, this matchup in the past has been very good for Batrider. Batrider, of course, being nerfed a lot in the last patch, and that's why he kind of disappeared for a bit.
Yeah, that's why he has to start with the Quelling Blade. You just don't get enough damage off the Napalm stacks to last hit effectively. Puck with a 10 base damage advantage.
Gilger feeling like he can't do anything or isn't needed in the bottom lane is going to go for an early rotation here onto Mind Control and help out this lane. He's going to take the spear, but Mind Control is certainly dead.
I like this move. Tide, he might suffer down here, but already level 3 with the 2 points in Kraken Shell. So just the pure defensive style. He just wants to ensure he doesn't get zoned, is able to get as much XP as possible. And you can see there, if the wave is controlled by Ace, AA Tiny is a kill combo. Like, Mars can't do anything about that.
GH, is he going to die here? They still have Avalanche, so I don't think there's a way out. He's got no more healing salves. He wakes up the neutrals. Tofu trying to aggro it, but Gilger times his last hit nicely and is going to be moving over to try and secure the runes here. Take it away from RMN. There goes that water rune. So nicely done, RMN. Not having a real refill on the bottle may actually make a huge difference here.
Yeah, that's huge. Because RMN... Oh, no.
Yeah, okay.
Speaking of bottle refills... Yeah. It's nice, though, because the way you play bad mid, you kind of have to be out of mana almost at all times. You're shoving waves constantly. Napalm spam, Firefly for the rune spawn. So really well done there by Gilger, but, GH had died. Tactical feed. It's actually worth, in a way, for Bet because he gets the free charge. That's something I really hope we see changed at a point. The fact that the fountain regen lasts long enough to both fill bottle and give that extra charge.
Yeah.
2 extra charges.
The 4.5 sort of hit that you get out of this is pretty insane for sure. No doubt that bottle in some way needs to be nerfed.
Because I think the refill, that should stay. But the 4.5 charges, maybe a bit excessive.
GH. He does get out the Curse Crown, and he's got Mind Control, running interference for him. Ace is still going to go for it. Immediately going to be speared up. Brambles is here, but GH is going to take too much damage too quickly. He dies again.
Yeah, there is a price they pay for this. Hellbear Smashers are leaving their Tidehunter on an island. He's getting some pretty solid XP, already level 4.5, but not really much in the CS department. I think it's a worthy trade though, because your PA, that's your one position. It's your hard carry, and
it all is worth it maybe if they can get this kill onto RMN. He knew the Tiny was coming in thanks to a ward, but it looks like he underestimates the damage that the puck is able to put out.
They double TP for that too. This is the danger. The opening picks of Nigma were this support duo, but not really the easiest active roamers, right? Tiny just shows up, stun, toss, no problem. Willow Warlock, like you need ultimates to do anything really.
Going for the power rune here, doesn't even spawn. Stormstormer is taking a lot of damage from Kuro. Another round of spells, GH. We're gonna throw that last Shadow Realm hits, and Tofu barely survives thanks to the stick charges he had leveled up. Now they manage to get the lasso here onto the Tiny, pull him back down into the river, so there's nowhere really where he can run to. And hey, look at that, a regen rune for your efforts as well, RMN. Gets right back up to full plus. Stormstormer looks like he was grabbing the bounty rune. Doesn't quite time his phase shift correctly and does take a bit of damage. In fact, the Bramble's landing, and that last hit, that's going to be enough. He's going to burn out, whether it's to Healing Word or it's to Fatal Bonds.
That was a really weird play from Stormstormer. They're just overconfident. The Warlock threat is real. Back in the day when I used to play this mid, this was like the hard counter to Puck because you just can't juke the damage. And the Fatal Bonds and the Shadow Word are deceptively high damage against a hero with such low base HP. And Stormstormer just doesn't respect the level 4 Warlock.
Rasmus, if he really wants out of this, maybe could have Ravaged right away, but of course he will hold on to it knowing that the Ravage is more important than his life. Meanwhile, top lane, they're going to go for the kill onto Mind Control. Again here, the Cold Feet. Barely manages to get him there, but he is level 6, and it's close to the tower, so they can't really play into him any longer.
Yep. I like the build a lot by Mind Control. Early Bracer, Chainmail ASAP with a Raindrop and a full wand to boot. So 1200 HP, but even more so because that Raindrop is going to proc twice.
Look at this double ward placement from Nigma to make sure they know exactly where the Tiny is going at all times. Because he has to be successful in his rotations top and mid constantly if they're going to be leaving the Tidehunter to dry out here at bottom lane.
I wouldn't mind. See, the trouble with Tiny is that if it's a different, this is like the Mirana 4 position, right? You'd be doing more of like what GH is doing, stacking camps to help get his Tide back into the game. They have 0 Ancient stacks, and oof. Nice deny from Kuro.
It is going to cost Kuro his life as they're going to get the coil toss combination, but he is rather tanky thanks to the levels that he's been getting, and it's going to take a long time for Stormstormer to actually get this kill. In many ways, this space is actually going to be well worth it for Nigma. As the orb barely landing, but he's got another round of this. Boy, this is really costing them a lot of space, but at the same time, it looks like they may actually kill RMN. He barely managed to get the lasso to pull him back in. Ace throws out the dagger to try and finish him off, but he's still not dead. He has to jump into tower range to be able to get him. A crit will finish him off. Tofu now running out, does have the cold feet to ensure that GH does not feel comfortable diving that tower. So the space is in some way taken away by the fact that RMN dies to Ace. Why is Ace mid anyway?
Just nice rotate. You can't stay top alone against a Mars. It's very scary.
Yeah.
He is level 7 with Arena active, and it's just time to ditch that area of the map. ILTW also showed up mid trying to get a little active. Well done by Kuro there. Again, Nigma really good about this. They're always buying Raindrops against Puck. It's so value in this game. You saw 2 orbs just having the full damage negated. Not full from the spell, but the maximum block. One of the most value items in Dota 2.
I think a lot of the top tier teams have been doing these swaps lately.
Yeah.
It's the mid laner swapping to a side lane. Because he's strong, he can be in a more dangerous lane and have an impact. And then you give your carry the mid lane, which is hard to be able to gank. As you can see here, RMN, he's level 8. He's hard to bring down. They try, but immediately he survives. Now they're going to get a turnaround here as Mind Control Kuro joining the party. Rasmus threatening that Ravaged, as he does have 17 stick charges as well.
Yep. No, it's the right play. You as a support, you sacrifice your early game to get your core online, and then they return the favor once you hit this 10-minute mark. And it's much easier also to play around a hero like Tide. You can see the itemization. Hood, right away, the full wand. So you just can't really kill Rasmus unless you want to commit probably 4 or 5 heroes. And if he has backup, that Ravage is a huge threat. They probably look to go there if the AA ult was going to connect, but no reason to blow the cooldown if you can't get at least 1 kill on a core.
RMN comes back to mid with the siege wagon push on its way.
It is a concern, though. The 2 cores, Troll, yes, for sure. This hero will scale hard, but Batrider and Mars, just especially the way that they're itemizing, they're not real damage threats. You know, a Batrider mid kind of has to have a better start. You know, when we see this hero dominate, the bots are already up. He's on his way to a BKB at 15, 17 minutes into the game. And he gets a kill every time Last is off cooldown. It's not really looking like that's going to be a possibility here for RMN.
Another Ice Blast sailing on by. I will say, I agree with you, especially since they've got heroes that deal. They've got 2 mobile cores, and that it's hard for Batrider to be able to kite out, and then the Tidehunter, who, thanks to Kraken Shell, gets rid of the sticky napalm. But I am impressed by these Batriders going late game with the new shard.
Yeah, that's true.
That is pretty crazy. It certainly seems like Batrider has a fresh power spike late game.
Yep.
That he didn't have before.
It's something you said about the way Dota's evolved with all the changes and additions. Hang on, might have a fight over the runes.
Gilgert dodges the bramble. Very nice. They're going to try and bump him back into range of the lasso, but Gilgert covers himself with the avalanche.
So there's like a lot of legacy information in my brain that may just be outdated, specifically this relationship between Bat and Tide. Because back in the day, you know, you scrim against LGD, Vici when RTK and Zhao Wei were still in the game. They would first to a Tide into your Bat, no problem. They saw it as a hard counter.
Yeah.
I think that's still the case. But to your point, maybe Bat later on, you just have so much damage amplified from your shard. Tides isn't quite as good, although I have seen it used by Monkeys Forever because it does reduce tower damage on the Tide shard. It's really cool.
Yeah.
But is it viable? I don't know.
Coil, only onto the 1 here, ILTW. He's going to still be hit by the Ravage Ice Blast combination. Maybe this isn't quite what he expected. Now the Avalanche over the top. He gets tossed. That's going to be him shattering. A terrorized dodge there by Stormer. The rest of Nigma are going to close in on Gilgert, but he's hero chatted lining for a reason. He knows that was a great fight and a great exchange.
Yeah, you take those all day. Nice, right? I mean, you kill the Troll. That's it. Ace lives, Troll dies. That's the dream. LTW is off to a great start. Don't get me wrong. He's very close to the battle for you, but that death will hurt. Skipped the ultimate, I think partially just because he recognizes how useless it is against AA ult. Ensures he'll be able to farm that a little bit faster. Don't think it would have helped him there.
Here comes RMN back in with the boots of travel. The Ravage is down, so Nigma, how much can they get during this opening? And it seems like they really actually want to just straight up take mid-tower. No coil for a bit either. This is still going to be difficult and rather dangerous once they start taking more and more damage from the tower.
I love this from Hellbear. They just bring the whole squad. You want to push this lane? You're going to have to dive. Yeah, you don't have Ravage, but Rasmus is, you know, serving as an offensive lineman for his stack. You can't really go on Tide. This is the Dota mistake 101. Rasmus wants you to try to kill him. He's a no-Ravage Tide Hunter with a hood. If you do that, you're not winning the fight. He's serving the purpose of a Ravage by just existing and absorbing your damage.
And he also helps that Hellbear Smashers have a decent number of low cooldown nukes they can just kind of throw out to defend towers, like the Puck especially, who's now found the opening with the coil just now coming up on GH. Now, let's see if he dodges the spear in time. Phase shift, not going to be out. He gets speared. He gets stuck to the wall. Still not dead. Will manage to get off an orb. Jumps a little farther away, but the last hit from RMN is here. So he keeps on pursuit. He sees Gilgert with Kuro's Golem leading the way. He'll try and slow him down. Gilgert does have Avalanche, which he can slow down RMN, but RMN may feel bold enough to keep it going. Man, he's so slow. Cold Feet not quite there. Now he's going to toss him over to Ace, and Ace is actually going to be the one last. So if they're pulled together on this Firefly, Ace is still alive, but the TP actually getting canceled there by the spear, and RMN gets the double kill, all thanks to Gilgert's alley-oop. He goes ahead, thanks Gilgert for that one. Nigma do close in with GH and Mind Control to ensure this team fight. Oh, they're going to go for the Ravage, but it's just the two of them. They really want this kill into RMN. The Spear goes out. They only get the 1 kill out of this one, but it is a killing spree collected.
That is huge, though. ILTW put in so much work. His squad just pretty much won a team fight without him. He killed top tower, farmed couple, I think 4 or 5 creep waves top, through the jungle, now to mid, no Ravage, so you're probably going to be able to push this mid tier 1 as well. And Ace dies. This is a huge lead now. ILTW is taking on the game. He's a full Claymore ahead of the PA. Has the Battle Fury complete.
Tofu caught out here, trying to get a little vision. Fortunately, Ace does actually clean up the kill on GEH rather quickly. They got the tower. Nigma, they should be plenty happy with this. And indeed, they'll back up. So just the net worth exchange there, fantastic for Nigma. But now you add in the fact that they've got this really nice map control. They took the enemy mid tower while still keeping their own. Cooldowns are still up for a little while on the Ravage and such. These are all fantastic things. You can see ILTW and his tip to RMN. He is very happy with the space he's gotten. He's 2,000 net worth ahead of Ace.
He's a Yasha plus ahead. Like, he still doesn't have a Battle Fury up on Ace. So every minute that we see this disparity, that's an extra 200, 300 GPM the troll has as an advantage. That'll be reflected in the XP gained as well. And the map control now, because they've got mid tower, look at the ward coverage that Kuro's placed. This is beautiful.
Yeah. No, he's got all three lanes in a way covered right now.
Yep.
Both jungles in the mid lane covered in wards. Nice aggressive wards that are going to be able to give you a good read of what Hellbears are up to. Hey, so long as you don't like lose a big team fight and the enemy starts pushing onto your side, but getting a pick off like this certainly helps. His Ace, he's got to jump away here over to Tofu, and that'll be just enough space to get him out, and they actually lose GH in the process. So not bad for the Smashers.
That's a very needed survive.
Oh, Stormer missing the coil there. That could have been a nice exchange. They actually dropped the Golem to make sure that Smashers don't really try and take this too aggressively. And they will start retreating.
Ravage in 5.
It's a 4 position for a 4 position so far, so with the Ravage ready to go, if RMN extends a little bit too deep, look at him, just the upheaval. Oh God, is Tofu gonna die to the Golem like this? The spear comes out, the Golem needs another hit, but he doesn't quite get it. RMN, is he gonna try and go for a flame break? He is, and he's got him too. Tofu gets burned down from a distance. They blow the Ravage to kill RMN for that though.
Yeah, but ILTW was already in the pit, and now he looks to commit. Like, this is just go for Roche, of course. Like, this is the second time the Rasmus Ravage just, it's too selfish almost. Like, that 1 kill, is it really worth it? Because you're losing objectives. You can only do this as LTW. You have so much map control, but again, the vision. Like, there's no fear now. You see your enemies, and he is solo killing Roche as we speak. Yeah. He's going to be a full Sanjin Yasha ahead of the PA with an Aegis in his pocket. And after it dies, quite possibly 3 full levels as well.
Found Gilger. Gets the spear on him with the brambles. And Mars Dark Willow. Those ultimates, man. Combined together, you're probably just going to 100-0 almost anybody in this game. LTW now with an Aegis and an SNY, so he can play in team fights really aggressively now. Considering how tanky he is, he can now, in a way, frontline for Nigma.
He's done, the whole team's done well. I mean, ILTW, he'll probably get a lot of credit if he ends up carrying this game, but his team has put in so much work. RMN really surprising me on his plays as this Batrider just because of how aggressive he's been able to posture. And look, the team is still looking to get active. There's still no Ravage, and they should know this. Solar Crest finished on Rasmus, but I just don't know if you actually have the damage to fight as Smashers right now. This troll is a huge problem.
He certainly is, and Nigma, if the Smashers don't choose to fight them, they can start mowing down some towers. Troll's quite good at that. Skilger spotted here by GH. Nothing good to come of this. Oh, I like this. Hellbear Smashers are backdooring the mid-tier 1 tower. That's always a nice play.
Yeah, they really wanted to open up the map. Just keep in mind, the Troll versus PA relationship. Typically, PA is certainly the king of the late game, but Troll, you can even see in the items he's got queued up, BKB, MKB, very natural progression for him, and it is incredibly difficult to go toe-to-toe with this hero as a Phantom Assassin unless you are at the very least equal in items, and that does not look like it'll be the case unless perhaps this smoke can work out. No blink on Rasmus, but he's going to attempt the walk-in Ravage. Blink on the puck. They need to try and kit this Warlock.
They're going to lead off with the coil onto the 2 supports. With the Ice Blast coming in as well, they might just be able to burst the backline almost immediately. They do. 2 supports down. Mind Control gets off the arena, though. And the puck, it's going to be a combo of ultimates that brings him down. RMN and Mind Control both down to about half health. Ace looking for his opportunity to jump in. Spots it now onto RMN. Meanwhile, the Tidehunter, Rasmus, is being gone on by the Troll. Bit by bit, he will be whittled down by the Troll's damage, but now they're going to go for Mind Control as well. They're leaving ILTW for last here, which is a great idea if they can actually finish off the Mind Control's Mars, but they can't. He's too tanky, it seems like. And Ace doesn't want to try and go for that kill with ILTW in the neighborhood, so they're going to back off. Ultimately, a 3 for 3 is the exchange.
Man, that could have gone so much worse for Nigma. I'm surprised they came out of that so nicely. Both supports died right at the onset. No spells cast by Kuro. They got the tier 2 though, so he'll be able to teleport right in, heal up Mind Control. It's the new outpost coming into play. This is the 5 seconds versus 6 second TP. Maybe not super effective, but he got healed that much faster.
And now they can just keep playing on Hellbear Smasher's side of the map. And even start taking over their triangle. And once a PA loses her triangle, I just don't know how you recover the game.
Yeah.
You know, because you are so reliant on hitting Ancients.
I think Ace might have had to get a little more aggressive in that fight. He didn't actually enter it until it was 3-on-3.
Sorry, I was laughing at Rasmus's inventory. He knows what he needs. And it's 1 item and 1 item alone. A Blink Dagger for him. Looks like Tofu. He's very dead. His Gilger, yeah, Gilger's going to be caught out as well. Both the supports getting picked just outside of their base. There's nowhere for them to move. Nigma, they're just kind of a wall.
It just faded, but there was a ward on the high ground by top outpost in Dire Jungle. That was also sentryed by Kuro as he came in. Hellbear Smashers had placed a new ward. It immediately got taken out, but it's why Nigma have continued to dominate in this area of the map. There's just been no vision for Hellbear Smashers. They have 1 ward now on the steps of the enemy woods, but this doesn't help them because Kuro and squad are not playing underneath it at all. They're just stealing the jungle and in this manner controlling both ancient spawns. So to your point, where does PA farm?
Yeah. Throw in the combination of Mars having a Blink Dagger and RMN having his Boots of Travel. And if you play on the side lanes and you play really deep on the enemy side of the map to try and find farm, Nigma could certainly close the distance real quickly. The Phase Shift is going to be able to dodge the Spear, Mind Control. He's looking a bit unhealthy here at about half health. Not obviously going to commit. 3 more seconds till the Aegis expires. So the Smashers really want to stall this out. But can they go on ILTW here? A BKB for both the carries.
They just saw Aces picked up, so they might need to be a little cautious here. This spacing, though, really benefits Nigma. They're playing in the trees with their squishier heroes. You can't really get Kuro if he's going to play this far back.
Stormstormer looking for an opening here. Spots GH, and he wants him to go for it, and they do. Gilger jumps him, hits him with a combo. Puck follows it up. Puck trying to protect his own life as best as possible. Gets a coil on just the Bat Rider. Immediately broken. The Ice Blast is going to follow it in. They need more damage behind it, though, and they don't quite yet have it. RMN doing a nice job dodging around. Ace, the Golem is thrown onto him. He's going to jump away back to Rasmus and Stormstormer. While the rest of Nigma funnel backwards here. They're going to start poking on Mind Control. Gilger is being focused down by ILTW at the same time. But now that they're done with the Tiny, they're going to start rallying back. A 3-on-3 still. These teams very evenly matched when it comes to team fights. Both of them have a strong understanding of picking off these squishier 4-position heroes. GH, you've got to be a little bit careful since he did buy back in this fight. So I guess 2 for 3.
You can see the big difference between these carries. Ace forced to play like an assassin, whereas ILTW just playing like a bully. He's not targetable, wasn't even forced to use BKB there because they simply cannot go for him right now. I mean, he's just stealing the enemy bounty rune, just ignoring the fact that Hellbear Smashers are 5 alive. And really nice placement. They're just going to continue to apply this pressure.
And he's going to be able to naturally progress into an MKB, so the PA feels like you are answered for the next, like, 10 minutes.
Yep.
Probably, maybe if we survive for another 15, then the PA starts becoming big enough threat to some of these other heroes. But RMN, he jumps in big time to be able to go for the Ancient Apparition, but he immediately gets turned around on by the Smashers. Nigma are going to use that BKB on ILTW to TP home, and Kuro looks like he's far enough back.
Kuro has a refresher in 500 gold.
Yeah, and maybe a little bit more, though, as Smashers are still trying to catch up to... Oh, my God! 1,000 damage crit from Ace, and they're on the hunt for more here. The spear doesn't quite land. GH spotted for a moment. Gilger, Blink Dagger up. Another avalanche. A toss coming in soon. Shadow Realm just came back up, so he's not going to be tossed here.
That's huge. He had no buyback. That would have been guaranteed tier 2. Still might be, but you can see the downside. Kuro went for this very greedy item build. When he gets the refresher, that's going to be nuts. But for now, the side of Nigma have literally no plus armor items. So that Solar Crest advantage is going to come into play. The Gush as well for the minus armor. If you get caught as Warlock or the Willow of GH by Ace, you die in a crit. As
he is in a really bad position. Oh my
Yes,
God,
he is.
ILTW.
He has no BKB.
What is this?
He has no
This
BKB.
is the most insane farming I have... What?
Can we get a replay? Where was he?
So
he just walked up to the Ancients?
BKB TP'd, and I think he TP'd the tier 2 bottom, and he farmed his way up into their triangle.
And they had a ward on him, too.
Yeah, I mean...
The only place on the map Kuro doesn't have sentries is the Ancient Camp that ILTW chooses to farm. That is a huge death. His advantage has just dropped off. You know, he's been an item ahead this entire game. Now it's going to be half an item. And Ace, you know, he's got the Deso complete, so... You know, actually, they're even. It's just that right now, he's got a lead on the MKB. That timing is going to be huge for Nigma. They'd like it to hit before the next Roche fight. But that's going to be easier said than done. They just lost map control. Suddenly, it's Hellbear Smashers playing enemy side of the map.
Crazy, just wrong positioning from two people on the side of Nigma, and it makes a huge difference. I think RMN and his choice to... I think he jumped in and lassoed Tofu.
Yep.
Right? But, like, as soon as he does that, PA has free game, right? And part of the success of teamfights of Nigma has been the troll being on the front line. They're going to be able to grab Gilger here. They're trying to blow him up. He's not quite inside of the wall, but he should still die here. But at the same time, Stormstormer's in deep. Uh-oh, he ran into a bramble. Almost gets hit by the golem, but fortunately he phase shifts it, jumps over to his orb, but he's still caught. Nigma.
What?
This time, it's the Hellbear Smashers who get, like, way too aggressive, and Nigma finds a great opening into Roshan.
What in the hell? How did that happen, Cap? It's a 4-on-5. There's no troll. The enemy highest net worth by far is dead. Roche has now spawned. You have Ravage. Do we have buybacks on these heroes? Stormstormer, yes. Gilger, no. Are you just going to give up the Roche?
Yeah, I mean, Hellbear Smashers just were not ready for a fight, I think. Icebox is going to come in, but the PA is a little bit too far away. In fact, he's been hit by a Brambles here, maybe forced to use his first BKB to try and TP out. There is no lasso for a second here for the Bad Rider, but it may not be needed as they manage to get the chain stun on two of the Ravage are going to go down. BKB and a Blink Strike away, but that's not the way you wanted to use your combination there. Just to retreat to save your carry, but still lose your Tidehunter in the process. Nigma, all right, the game's fully swung back to their favor.
What? That's just nuts. They just gave away. They were going to have such an insane timing. PA just hit level 20. He has the Deso for 7 minus armor, his talent for 3. Nigma have no armor items. Kuro, 7. Willow of GH, 5. 15 on the Batrider. These heroes are going to explode in the duration of a Ravage, but now they don't have it. Now they're playing into Aegis.
663 gold for dewarding. Nicely done by Kuro.
They just
had
gave
a
up
great read.
What were they doing over there?
I don't know. There's just a lot of weird mispositionings happening. I think both teams are underestimating the potential of the other team to be aggressive on them. And now Ace doesn't have a BKB for 15 seconds. They need the puck, Blink Strike, to be able to jump over, and Stormer does give it to him. Ace. He's running himself out of here, but Stormer is going to get caught in the process. And Mind Control may get burned out, but Ace. RMN spots him. He's going to be hit by another Flame Break. BKB just came up.
Oh, he had it. He didn't.
I think he came up in like literally the last second.
RMN.
And he was not spamming it.
Is that Miracle or is this RMN? Because all of a sudden, the Batrider is just winning the game for his boys.
You know what's funny is that like there's so many okay, that fight in triangle where Hellbear Smashers is not well prepared. They get caught. That leads into Roshan being taken. That Roshan is a shard. So the Batrider picks up the shard. That's how he ends up killing the PA again. It's like these things can snowball rather heavily.
So he now doesn't have to buy a shard. He can instead buy a BKB cap. Suddenly the Ravage is ineffective, and he's going to be gunning. Like, that's 2 racks. Like, I actually, is that just GG?
It's close enough to it. I mean, they're going to hold out because they've got a PA, right? They've got a PA. They've got tier 1 and tier 2 still up in the bottom lane.
But their whole timing just disappeared. Suddenly, everybody on the Radiant team now has a bonus 2,000 gold. That's a plate mail on the Mars. It's going to be an Aeon disc soon on GH. It was 24-20. Hellbear Smashers had a lead, and then, man, just I don't know. I guess by now I should have learned to buy the dip, but I cannot believe that they turned this around.
Yeah. Fistful of sand. It all just slips through their fingers, and Hellbear Smashers, who had an opportunity to take control of this game.
Plate mail on the bat.
Now they're dealing with the BKB plate mail Batrider, who has a shard.
PA no longer has that insta-kill potential because Team Nigma just picked up like a bonus 30 or 40 armor across their players. Now they have a Refresher Golem and an Aegis and a DD.
Still have an opportunity for outplay. Armin in deep here. Tried to go for the lasso, but the Lincolns protected him, I believe, on the puck. So, did he not know about that?
It was new. Just picked up. It's the right choice, too, mostly for the defensive application on your PA. Because otherwise, right, there's no protecting him. He can BKB, but still get lassoed, and he'll be done for.
It's a pretty sick move. If he didn't have that Lincolns, they would have just found a insanely good pickoff to end the game. Still looking very good for Nigma as they have 1 minute left on the Aegis and should be able to run up to high ground and force something. Hellbear Smashers, they might be able to stall until the Aegis is down, but it's probably going to cost them a lot. Maybe buybacks, maybe Ravage.
They do have Glyph, but look for Kuro just to drop the bomb. He's got 2 of them.
Yeah. Oh, and double damage too? Yeah, they could definitely force a response from Smashers now before this Aegis is gone. Okay, they're not going to wait. The Lotus Orb going off actually does manage to get the lasso back turned around, but it doesn't matter. Gilker is being ripped apart by ILTW. They do have a buyback, though. RMN almost getting critted down to death, but Ace got to be careful of that MKB. Double damaged up ILTW, who's running down heroes right now. That is going to be the use of his ultimate. He's got 14 seconds left on the Aegis. They really need to take this Megas now, because he won't have those extra lives soon. ILTW toss back, and they do take him out before the Aegis expires. Now the Golems double dropped in. Base Shift is going to be able to dodge one of them. Instantly Ravage up. Can they burst him down? He doesn't have his ultimate. He eats the cheese, but he still is getting chunked on by Ace. Now Smashers, they haven't even lost their barracks just yet, are going to look for more. Everybody else, maybe they can catch the Dark Willow here, but other than that, great fight for Smashers. They will hold.
Oh, man. So they kill him a second before Aegis respawns, but sick play. The BKB was down, so Gilger with the immediate toss back forces ILTW to be out of position. He had no ult either, and used it purely offensively.
Yeah, he just used it offensively.
He's just like, I'm in, but Kuro didn't drop the rocks. Then he does onto the puck. Both of them. Both are dodged.
Like, why do they need to initiate here?
You can just chill.
Just let them go on ILTW.
It's all good. Like, use the arena, maybe, if you want to, but it's all fine here. Okay, everything's good. You don't need to do this if you're ILTW. You can just hit the racks. You have a DD. Instead, he's now forced into the tier 4s. You're going to see a toss back in just a moment from Gilger. They
Beautiful toss back by Gilger that saves the barracks and puts the troll in a very bad position.
Yep, they get the crit. But now watch Crow.
Golem 1, Golem 2, what?
And then there's just a Ravage. Like, if you're going to use that, that should be, you know, I don't know, you ever play StarCraft 2, you know, when you're launching nukes? Like, you want to put it closer to the enemy base full of workers. You don't want to aim for the army. Or in this case, I guess the lone Dragoon. Not ideal. And now, I don't know if this is going to turn it around necessarily, but at least Smashers have some breathing room. They're going to have a Satanic soon on their PA. Don't know if I like that choice, actually. He might need damage. But I guess they're considering that if our PA can actually, like, live and just go toe-to-toe with ILTW.
Gilger breaks the smoke and blinks away. Very nice by him. Smashers may still be caught in the process. Dagger doing a lot of damage here. They're going to poke at mind control some more. Uh-oh. Brambles that actually caught him and terrorized as well. Stormer is just dead.
Got buyback.
Now they've got the Gold Scepter. He does have a BKB. He's going to jump back first, holding on to that magic immunity for as long as possible. Now using it, but not being able to go in. They buy back on Stormer, but the BKB will be on cooldown for 70 seconds. Nigma have an opportunity to just hit the base again.
Yeah, I can almost guarantee this is the last time we're going to see Rasmus playing Tide in this series. Not that he's doing anything wrong, but he had no Ravage there for 20 seconds. They might have an opening to fight to use that buyback, but without Ravage, they just don't feel comfortable. However, this is a sick backstep. They've got great vision.
They see the support. They see the two backline. They get them together in a combination, but the AL disc protects GH. He was aware that this could be a possibility. He saves himself. Mind control's going to be rooted to this spot, but it's ILTW who's already smashed in Ace's head. He rips him apart with that MKB, and as soon as Ace is gone, the fight's done. They don't have any damage. This is a 4-protect-1 lineup. There's nothing left. So that's it.
Rasmus.
Nigma.
Don't even get the Ravage. Oh, my. Oh, Cap. I was like, they're going to go. They've got vision. This is such a sick opportunity to just.
Oh, no.
Like, you got to, at one point, your guns are loaded. Just blink in and pray, right? Use everything. Instead, we see the game end. Coil, I don't even know if it might have been used, wasn't effective. Ravage unused. And shout out to RMN, newest mid player for Team Nigma, bringing home the bacon. They get the W in our first game.
Good stuff from Nigma for sure, and especially a big shout out to RMN for being able to stand in here for Miracle. Did a fantastic job in the Bat Rider. I mean, his laning, we said he wasn't really a mid player. He's been known to play support. He obviously started off as an off laner as well, but he looked great. Mid Bat Rider. Did really well in the matchup against Puck. Yep. Had some fantastic moves, and he was playing with a lot of confidence, too.
For
like
sure.
that blink into the tier 4s, maybe it didn't work, but that's not the kind of play I'm expecting out of a stand-in.
That's the big mentality difference I think we saw in this game. Nigma are playing to win. They're constantly controlling. They're using their spells, maybe a couple mistakes, but they're the ones making plays. Hellbear Smashers, all the good things that happened to them, that was because there was an overstepping.
They kind of gifted to them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like they need more confidence, more bravado if they're going to take the series.
All right. Well, Smashers, this was their best opportunity to be able to win a series against a team like Nigma. See if they can manage to rally back in Game 2 and maybe even a Game 3. We'll head over to the panel now.
Thank you, Kappa. Indeed, there's a lot to talk about with this first game of this best of 3. It wasn't the cleanest win for Team Nigma, but they do manage to do it. We're going to, of course, talk about how they did win that game, and we're preparing for game number 2.
After the break.
this best of 3 series goes the way of Team Nigma over Hellbear Smashers here. You're watching the upper division of the Western European DPC League. Of course, it's DreamLeague Season 15, powered by Intel. In this game, it might not have been the cleanest game, but a win is a win, and we know that Team Nigma with stand-in is still very spooky to deal with now. Fog, I want to first hear, I mean, our man, seeing him play on that Batrider,
he looked like the best player out of all 10 in the game, honestly. Like, ILTW overall did look great, but he did make that, like, one big critical error around the Ancients and did die. RMN was on point. Like, all of his lassos, his aggressive play style, super aggressive, made the space, did great in the mid matchup, too. That was very impressive by him, for sure.
Yeah, I just think after laning phase, if you look at Smash's perspective, it just never felt like they connected well enough to really have any entry into the game. And it's just a little bit underwhelming from them. Like, it was so important. Like, every Ravage had to be critical. Unfortunately, it wasn't. That then led to Roshan's being given to the side of Nigma. And then, like Fog said, you have this Batrider, RMN, he's standing in. He's like level 25, 26 on the hero. And you could just feel he just knew every beat to hit on the hero because he was just playing well in his lane, being active. So yeah, props to RMN just not looking like the odd one out.
Yeah,
a little bit of a hero spammer.
Definitely a hero spammer. And definitely seeing a big slip up, especially like early game Gilger. You know, he had actually like great first 10 minutes with his rotations, but
the toss.
That toss actually ruined so much. He got his PA killed, got himself killed, sets up RMN to get like some snowball kills as well. And in the meanwhile, I'm pretty sure Kyle was saying it too. They fought, they killed like 4 heroes, and RMN takes a top tower, takes like 3 or 4 waves, gets some jungle kept after Battle Fury. Full free farm while they're making the space from that mistake. So, yeah.
I mean, it was a rough one for the Hellbear Smashers for sure. Another player who had a rough time was Rasmus on the Tidehunter, and Purge is going to break down why that was.
Thank you, Sheeper. To start things off, what I thought was interesting was that Rasmus's laning stage was basically intended to be rougher than normal. What Gilgar did was he pulled the first creep wave to meet them, and then he had to make sure he didn't get any of these creeps denied so he can get a fast level 2. The level 2 is important because that allows him to get on the map and make Tiny as effective as he can be with a lot of damage and lots of disables. So he ensures that Crow's not able to deny any of these. He even puts more effort into zoning to get the experience than he does about getting the last hits because he knows that that's what's important. He ends up roaming towards the mid lane. This ends up getting scanned, so because of that, Batrider doesn't end up being too worried, but then he swings towards the top lane, grabs the bounty rune at 3 minutes, and then he moves in to help get a kill here on Mind Control. They kill the carry, or sorry, the off lane, giving some gold and experience to Ace here. And then while the AA on played by Tofu slowly rotates over, they also get another kill here on GH, basically limiting their laning advantage. So you might be thinking at this point, like, wow, and he grabbed a water in, by the way. And then, by the way, he grabbed some items, swung back towards the top lane again. They end up going and killing GH another time here. So Gilgar basically spending the first 5 minutes really effectively to get a lot of pressure and kills. Oh, and by the way, one more. Rotates towards the mid lane immediately afterwards, gets a level 2 avalanche here with the TP from Tofu again. They kill the mid Batrider. Great early game, right? But then you're thinking, like, what is Rasmus doing on the other side of the map? He hasn't had a lane partner this whole time. And he did have a really tough time at the start. Troll is a lane dominating carry. He's supposed to kill your opponents. He hits you a lot and he gives you a really bad time. Rasmus did get Gush level 1 to get used for the first blood, but what he did that was kind of interesting is that level 2, instead of going for Anchor Smash like basically everybody does, he instead got Kraken Shell. And at first I was like, okay, surely this is just wrong, right? Because you're not going to be able to get last hits nearly as much. And that was the case, right? He's sitting at 2 last hits compared to the 7-2 of ILTW. It just looks bad. But what he did that was kind of interesting is at level 3, he also got Kraken Shell. And now it gets cool, because now Kraken Shell's blocking 30 damage a hit. Patrol Warlord hitting for 63, 30 of that damage gets blocked instantly, and the remaining 33 gets reduced by the armor value, or 25% resistance. So every hit that Troll hits him for is really only dealing 20 damage per hit, which is not that incredible. Tide actually was able, in a 1v2 scenario, to lane here without buying extra regen after the laning stage. He got 1 set of tangos, 1 salve, and the Ring of Regen. So he used this Kraken build to maybe not get as much gold or gold as his opponents. His net worth is suffering a little bit. Oops, let me re-grab this. So his gold is suffering a little bit compared to the other offlane hero, but he's equal levels to the Troll, and he gave PA a really, really good laning stage and shut down the Batrider a little bit. So kind of a cool way to sacrifice the Tide. He didn't get as much gold, but he got the levels that helped him lane well, get Ravage up, and defend towers.
And unfortunately, that was where it ended for Helmer Smashers as well. But we know that they can do better. We have seen them do better, and I really hope they're going to show up better in the next game. And we will have that next game very, very soon. We'll be right back with the draft for Game 2 after the break. We are going to see Game 2 between Hellbear Smashers and Team Nigma. You're watching DreamLeague Season 15, powered by Intel. It's the upper division of the Western European DPC League. And the first game of this series went the way of Team Nigma, but it was a little sloppy from both teams. And we're going to find out if maybe Game 2 can provide us with a little bit of a difference from that. I hope it will, because we know they can do it. I also think that maybe this time Batrider, yeah, the Hellbear Smashers, they recognized Armin's Batrider play, hero spammer galore, and it's banned.
Okay, and they'll stick to their guns, put Ace on a more comfortable hero, even though he does play the PA a bit. He did have a bit of a rocky one on that last one. Wraith King and AA. Tried and tested, very strong. Willow can play around this lane, though. If you do play up there, your Shadow Realm able to dodge that Wraith King stun can be pretty nice. GH did look kind of mortal on that Willow, though, last time around. Some mistakes for sure coming out from him, but hero's still very strong.
Yeah, we mentioned as well, like his skill build as well didn't really feel very patch-driven. It's kind of more maybe like a comfort style of level skill build. we're mainly referring to the fact that he put more points into Realm rather than the Bramble Maze, the Maze having multiple buffs. I guess for Nigma here, like they could just pick up their off lane to deal with like the lane that you already see, the A Wraith King. There is minimal flexibility here, so
Yeah. Still, I mean, it is a susceptible hero to it, but you can still just do the Mars. Like it's the good combo overall. Mind Control did die a few times, but he did his job in the last game.
Yeah, previously they picked the Warlock up in this at this point.
Yeah.
And I think it did do its job. It wasn't the strongest performance, but it's a strong hero overall.
I mean, technically, game 2 it can only get better for Misery and for Kuroki. So that's about it.
Silver linings, love it. They're taking their time though. They're actually going heavily into their bonus time for a second pick, which is very unusual.
Mind Control's talking a bunch, so they're considering his hero. Okay, so they're gonna go for the Timber for more, I guess, like lane pressure in a way, because it is the strength, strength hero Wraith King does get really heavily punished by, but AA can also be pretty good versus Timber mid game.
Yeah, I think there's the idea that in game 1, Smashers brought 2 supports to the off lane. They're punishing GH but not really killing off Mind Control. And now when you pick a Timbersaw, you basically force Smashers to go, with your opening, you need to try lane us at this early portion of the game. You have to give RTW this free farm, and it kind of keeps the map kind of in the favor of Nigma just because of the Timbersaw pick alone.
Okay, so then now they're protecting the Willow and the Timber overall here, since we know that big AoE damage going through the Shadow Realm, everything from Celeste Strike, of course, will kill Willow, and amplified by AA, very good versus Timbersaw. Sticking with the Dusa ban.
Yeah, you got to do it, I think. Just like the amount of noise in this type of game, like you could see how RTW approached that first game. You know, he's going for Battle Fury, he ignored pretty much every early engagement, he waited for him to have a game, then he joined in the fun. And I think that's, when you are playing with RMN and you have this kind of standing factor, you can't rely on like this dual core to be your win condition. Like, RMN did amazing making space, but like you need that kind of insurance policy in your draft.
Deuce is just ridiculous here right now. I think it's 7-0 in SCA right now, so which is quite ridiculous.
Disgusting.
For sure. So that hero is definitely going to be moving up in priority. Storm ban, Nyx ban.
Does that teach us anything?
I think the Storm ban is just, again, a little bit more maybe respect potentially.
Yeah.
But the Nyx ban is just a reaction to the Timbersaw. I think when you are first phasing it, you do want to get rid of one hero that's good. Smashers, their response to this is by picking this flexible Lina. Gilga will play it, but Storm, 9 times out of 10 when they pick Lina like this, it's like, yeah, you're going to play it.
Yeah. I like it. Nice pick up there. Doesn't, it's so flexible, so it doesn't reveal a whole lot of anything, so I do like that.
Yeah, and they got 2 relatively solid stuns. I guess Cold Feet, you could even count it as 3, people like stuns.
0.5.
0.5?
They got to stay in the area long enough.
Oh, you can let them stay in the area long enough by first having the Wraith King stun, then the Light Strike Array, then the Cold Feet that already is ticking over the Light Strike Array. There's no escaping.
And that's why, you've just described why Wraith King AA is such a strong lane together.
Yep.
How easy.
Respond now.
How do they respond? They are once again into their bonus time, but this one is a little bit more normal to decide which way they're going to go with their draft. I'm also curious, like we know, well, on hindsight, we know that our man is a bat spammer.
What does he play now?
I
mean, we'll find out.
Because they don't have to keep sticking him on mid. They can be flexible with that. We got another Titan coming out.
Okay, so that's likely to be, 90% chance for Kuroki.
Yep. Although GH used to play it a lot too. Am I right in thinking that?
I guess they could run it as 4 and put the Willow as the 5
Yeah.
in a way, depending on which carry hero they would like to run.
Yeah.
Just tried looking at RMN's Pro Tracker. Great website. 0 matches, 0 wins, 0 losses in the last 8 days. So unless he's playing on a Smurf, there's no information to go off.
There is a
Can
chance.
you look at the RMN Smurf? Do they have a? Does he actually have? He doesn't even have it up there.
No, they don't have a Smurf on this side.
Maybe he hasn't played in 8 days.
What is,
I do have him on Friends though, so if I can run to the PC real quick, I can then.
I think he removed me from Friends. Very sad.
Wait.
Very sad. From the good old German team days.
You're pretty savage on the panel nowadays, Shiba.
Yeah, it's
he
fair.
only likes
It's fair. I'm no longer
panelist.
nice.
I like the CT pick though. It works. It amplifies really nicely for the Willow in particular too. It gives vision.
I think it boils down to the idea that there's going to be so much pressure on the Timbersaw. You now pick a hero that can start making the big stats, you can continue making more from your jungle, and when the game gets a little bit closer, the team fight you lose with Timber, you now gain all of it back with your ET pick. So it's a nice kind of 1-2 punch.
Great counter initiator too, in case there is someone getting focus fired. You stomp the back line so they can't follow up with all that big damage.
More stuns!
More stuns.
Yeah, there's also more flexibility right now. Smashers with the second pick, they've picked a DK that can go offlane mid, the Lina that can go 4 on mid. You have no idea where these heroes are going to lane up until when they pick their final hero.
Yep. I like it.
Yeah. Plus armor as well versus ET for later stages. Nice, but it is DK into Timber.
Yes.
So that is always a little bit of a fear because there's a lot of damage. Timber and Willow, pre-BKB DK, you can just get shredded.
And also another melee core. That's going to be playing into ET as well. So you're now playing into double strength into Timber, double melee into ET. This final pick has to be the biggest gotcha pick, otherwise they've kind of drafted themselves into what Nigma's really playing for.
Yeah, I do agree.
And that Bristle is the counter to Wraith King, simply because of the amount of pressure you apply on the map. You can eat still all stacks. Wraith King can't farm any stacks, and yeah, the pressure that you apply from Bristle back into Wraith King, it is a counter to older time.
Would that be the mid Bristle or something too? Like, or will they actually just put it straight up safe lane?
I would like to see it safe lane, but I feel like with RMN, then you can
maybe it's one of.
I mean, does this still invite then for a ban on the Keeper of the Light that's still in the pool?
With this DP ban though, I kind of indicate that the Bristle is mid.
That's what I'm thinking too. Yeah, and they banned Viper, right? Like now it's starting to seem even more so. So this is the hero that just parks in front. Now it's like. It's difficult a little bit for the AA because it's like, oh god, I gotta blast Timber, but then Bristle.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, Fold, I love you for saying that.
He pulls away, you know, it pulls away the focus away from the Timber stuff because now you gotta focus the Bristle a little bit harder.
Too many heroes to hit with the ultimate.
Yeah. Oh, so I think it's actually pretty cool if it is gonna be that approach.
And it's if it is a mid Bristle, you have the ability for Willow to leave that lane quite quickly, start making stacks. Bristle retreats over. So yeah, I like the mechanisms of their draft. But Smashers, they do have the last pick. They need to find some threat to the front line. They don't have it right now. I think if this is a Lina core, it will be somewhat disastrous. I think it has to be Storm's hero that unlocks the draft right now.
Agreed. They ban out the PA. I think that might just be indicating that it is the Lina and the AA as the two supports more than likely because those two heroes just get one dagger and I'm dead. So I do like that PA ban as well for them.
Isn't the carry just going to be some like casual active hero like a Juggernaut or something? You just play with the momentum that you set with a Bristleback.
Round 2 Troll.
Sure, yeah, Juggle Troll for sure.
Juggle Troll.
GH is laughing right now. He's happy.
Jug Troll, Lifestealer, all three, right? They're all in. They're gonna go Ember. Okay, so it's gonna be Bristle safe, and then they're gonna switch it up. Okay, so they did have the flexibility in that one. And if it is a DK mid, which is very likely, that means Ember gets a free lane.
Is this the resurgence of maybe the Monkey King? Nah, I feel so bad actually.
Please no. Please God, no.
Yeah, no, the hero's not good enough to suggest it.
All right, Rasmus, eyes on you.
This is, this pick makes or breaks pretty much your DPC life, honestly. Like, if they lose this series and go 0-5, the best they can do is then go 2-5, which is then hoping that Tundra and Bray aren't to win any more series, which is somewhat unlikely.
And they are looking pretty good at the moment, so they are actually on the up. And
Single pick.
And to be fair, I mean, this is a Team Nigma crippled by Miracle not playing. They like if they're gonna win any series, should be this one. And
could be some funny lanes. There could be some funny lane stuff going on here, right? Because then if Ember does go mid and they put Lina mid, that's a really weird matchup for the Ember Spirit overall. And they could definitely move some stuff around and just it's probably going to be scouting lanes. That's what we're going to see from Nigma.
Yeah, that's the difficulty right now. Like you're mentioning the idea of okay, Ember could go here and here, but that's where Smashers they can't just pick this amazing last pick because what happens if it's just Ember mid? Now they have to counter the Bristle. Like
what is this sitting position?
It's known as the frog. It allows for more additional keyboard reach.
Okay. Just curious.
Also, he's actually showing some real estate where he can get some advertising going on his shins or his knees.
Yeah.
Okay, and they go for Pugna.
Okay, all right. So Pugna, we did see in the lower division Into the Breach, Xantic did absolutely dumpster Boromir when he was playing the Ember Spirit on mid, but alas, it is just going to be a mid Bristle.
It's going to be the mid Bristle now, so
yeah.
Rasmus on a DK offlane. Ember Spirit, that's fine. Ember Spirit loves this. Now he's laning versus the DK anyway, even though he's not mid. That's like what you want to have happen for an Ember.
I guess the saving grace here is that you cannot, you have to remember that Lina is so potent.
That is very true.
That is very true. That chip and the amount of sustain that the DK has, is, I think that lane's going to go okay. I think both side
You're
lanes
right.
will always be good.
You're actually
It's
right.
Timber winning the side lane for Nigma, and it's what can this Pugna bring to the game? Is he taking early towers? Is he going to maybe the ward, the mitigating the mana region? Is that going to be an issue for maybe the Bristle and the Timber in the mid game?
Yeah.
That could be the key thing. Both drafts are pretty interesting. I prefer Nigma's because I think Bristleback is going to be like the dark horse of this patch so far.
Agreed.
We haven't seen enough, and RMN, he's played well game 1.
I do like your point, though. The DK also, you can get stun. You just level stun in the off lane. You got Lina, Ember. Ember can definitely suffer, especially if he's also got ET at his back. That lane could actually go pretty well for the side of Hellbear Smashers. But yeah, I think Bristle's he's gonna get out of control. RMN. He was the MVP for me for the last game, so I'm looking at him again for this one.
Can the stand-in do it again? Can RMN take control of this game as the Bristleback? We're gonna find out here in the second game. And we're heading over to Cap and Kyle for it.
Off games happen, and it seemed like that last game was a bit of an off game for almost everyone, excluding RMN. He played fantastic, and he is somebody we're going to be looking at game 2 if Nigma want to be able to close out the series 2-0.
Yeah, indeed, and I like the way that they've set things up again. RMN gonna take the Bristleback mid. I learned the secret to this hero way back in 2011. After a late night with No Tail, he gave it to me straight. WWWW. If you can pull that off, you'll be an S-tier Bristle in no time. And I love the draft. A bit of weird movements. Like, we saw Timbersaw picked into AA, and then later in the draft, we saw Smashers take DK into Timbersaw. So just a matter of how these teams value these heroes. They'll draft them even into what most would consider hard counters. But I do like, honestly, what both teams have. The Pugna AA combo is pretty solid. It's something that Crow and the boys would know well. That was a huge staple of their drafts back at TI7 when they took home the title.
So do you feel like some of these weirder picks we're going to watch? Kuro, he's dead, right?
Maybe.
Certainly dead. Rasmus is going to be the one to take first blood. Seemed like Smashers didn't really quibble over who was taking the last hit. They all just kind of went for it. And they'll get the 2 bounty runes split still.
Yeah, I like Rasmus putting himself on the DK. He's had enough Ravage, way too long of a cooldown. It's tough to use appropriately. DK stun, you just throw that out on anybody. It'll be back up again, no problem.
Also very different in the aspect of one takes towers, the other defends towers, right? It feels like in some ways Smashers said, okay, can we take the tempo this game, guys? Because I don't want to let Nigma just run at us like they were doing and try and defend every tower. Let's actually... let's do that to them a little bit.
Captaining from the offlane is already hard enough. When you put yourself on a hero that has this massive cooldown, it's just annoying. You can't do things. So you're trying to make calls, but at the same time, your fear and your lack of cooldown kind of prevent you from helping the team get active because you're just useless for 2 minutes at a time.
This lane is kind of an interesting one because Elder Titan, one of the best laners in the game, no doubt. But DK can kind of deal with that aggression thanks to his inherent armor. He's also got a stun, which helps a lot against melee heroes. And then that stun can lead into Lina doing a whole bunch of damage. So
I'd like to see him get the stun as well. And you can do a lot of work with Gilgar up here.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of Dragon Knights do that over the last 6 months. Level the Dragon Tail just to secure CS. And in this lane, it's got the extra benefit of setting up a Light Strike Array.
Yep. My eyes are on the mid lane, though. Stormer specifically, I think, has got to play a bit better. He had multiple deaths in the previous game that were just straight up his mistakes. Pugna, similar high risk, high reward. He's going to need to know his limits a bit better. His hero is so key in this game against all these strength heroes.
Yeah, I mean, he's got plenty of ways to kind of defend himself with Decrepify. He's life drain, can actually compete against a lot of these strength heroes that are damage over time. ILTW actually copping a lot of damage here. Gilgar can keep chasing him, and he's got another LSA. ILTW put himself in a bit of danger here. Nice. The Slight is going to be able to dodge it, but there's still a couple more shots coming in. Fortunately, Rasmus does not have Breathe Fire right now. Gilgar would really like to take away that healing salve, but at least they keep ILTW out of CS range for a while.
I was going to say, Rasmus, go help your boy.
They turn right back around and start hitting Kuro back.
Yeah, it's a really aggressive lane up top. Nobody feels happy laning here. It's like, I just want to CS instead I've got to keep dealing with this guy trying to hit me in the face instead. Bottom lane GH, you got to be careful here. Ace wants to land the stun into Cold Feet combo. That's effectively 100% guaranteed, but if you go Shadow Realm, that'll of course disjoint the Wraith King Wraithfire Blast. But expect this lane to get a little harder for Smashers the longer it goes. Mind control on Timber.
Mind control Timbersong could definitely start taking over the lane. So all important to try and win it now while you can. And they're doing a good job of it. 19-2 for the Wraith King. Though the Timbersaw has pretty good CS as well.
Nice juke there. GH dodging the stun. Let's see. Man. I want to also make sure that we see some stacking come out from GH. The benefit of having this Timber is that at a point you'll be able to ditch. He'll have enough armor stacks that he's just not going to go down. And then he can look to get hard camp and ancient stacks going, which will be very nice for his mid-bristle. Start clearing those as early as level 7 or 8.
Ace going to be run down here. Bramble's doing a lot of work. Ace still has his stun to protect himself if need be. But it's not. And yeah, this is about that time the lane's going to start looking pretty rough. And I don't know if they're going to be able to, like, rotate. Pugna certainly can deal with Timbersaw. If you have enough disables, then Life Drain will just start working him. Yeah. But
the trouble is that your only real active playmaker this game is actually ILTW. And if you check out the CS, he is not smiling. This lane, you know, we talk a lot about Lina 4 position. It is just so frustrating to deal with. And yes, Shiver, it will be nerfed. Apologies. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, it was just 2 patches ago that this hero was the strongest 4 position, and it's showing itself in this patch as well as being one of the best ones. I'm not sure why we rebuffed it.
Me neither.
It was like, this is the strongest 4, and it was like, okay, let's put a damper on this a little bit. And ILTW may actually still be... he's fine.
He was actually dead there. They miscued. They landed both stuns at the same time. Rasmus was spamming it because he was losing vision in the trees. And then Gilger hit his LSA, but the overlap means that that will be an Ember that survives and also collects a free salve courtesy of Kuro. But this is just an impossible lane thus far for the Ember Spirit. Finally has 2 points Flame Guard, but definitely not feeling good.
800 gold spent on consumable. What is his net worth right now? Show me Tofu's net worth. I need to see this. All right, so he's, since the start of the game, he's netted himself about 250 gold.
Hey. Could be worse. This is where the Bristleback's lane becomes untenable. You can't really do much against a Stormer Pugna that just drains you.
Yep. And this is where Stormer needs to be able to appropriately pressure. Nice LSA, making use of that added AoE. And he's still dead, though, because there was that rotation from GH as Gilger will be found in the jungle.
You're all right with this, though.
Yeah, 3 heroes, and DK's still farming. You can't really do anything to him right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, same is true for MC on the Timber as we watch him just pressure poor Tofu.
Yeah, and GH can rotate. What does Tofu do in this game?
Yeah.
What do you do as an ancient apparition at this point?
You're just sad, man. Speaking of sad, RMN, same deal. The big difference here for Hellbear Smashers, and I like this change, they actually have tower damage, Cap. Previous game, they had nada. This time, you can actually do stuff in the mid game. A big part of why that last match was so hard for them was they lost their tier 1 mid and their tier 1 top before they even really got any pressure going. They had to backdoor towers and hit them for 15 seconds just to get the structure damage. And this time, it'll be a lot simpler for them.
You can see Stormer, like, I like that him as a Pugna, he treats taking this tower as like a hugely important objective. He's really trying to take it as quick as possible so he can start rotating around and helping some of his side lanes. Maybe even empty out that mid lane for someone like Tofu, who doesn't currently have a lane to play in.
It's just so funny watching Armin. I don't think that's going to... I thought he was actually just going to decrep and drain there, but wants to go buy his Arcanes, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
There we go. That's what I expected to see. You can see Armin, he's pulling the creep wave, likely over to the jungle. I think he should have done that a bit earlier. I've seen some Bristles do that as early as 3-4 minutes into the game to make it a part of their rune control, but also allows them to accelerate their farm.
Now the tri-lane comes to top. The Dragonite, it's a good time. He's level 6. They just add in the Ancient Apparition. Just another body to kind of join in. It's not like he's helping bottom lane anyway. And they can go ahead and start hitting that safe lane tower together.
Yep.
Or they're actually going to fake it out of here a little bit. They're moving both the supports to mid.
Dire's top tower is under
Our men is going to stack the Ancients. Nice job.
Where are the supports going? Okay, he just stacks. That's it.
Tofu would love a lane somewhere, but doesn't really exist. It's a tough AA game. 3 cores that are really happy to just run at you. They do get the ward. Well done. That's something.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Barely living there, GH. Here comes... Okay, is he dead? He's dead. And Gilger will very likely have his life traded out, but the DK could still come over and help him, certainly. He's going to hit the stun onto 2, the LSA onto 2 as well. Rasmus keeps him back and keeps Gilger alive.
Yeah. But that is the Timber factor we can witness in the bottom lane. There's nothing you can do. It's why this hero is a first pick. It's why they're willing to take it into even the AA counter.
Oh, hey!
Hey!
A fairy's trinket!
Just what I always wanted.
Wow. It's like he was destined.
Yeah, they have DK form ready. Expect Mind Control to TP top momentarily, though, as he is your counter pusher. Picks up the hood. Maybe they just give it up. He'll defend mid, if anything.
I mean, one problem...
Coming.
Okay.
A little late,
yeah,
but he's here.
It's very dead. They really need to, like, actually catch these heroes. Otherwise, they just made everybody go top lane without a good fight. Okay, Rasmus, you should be able to catch him in at least this stun. As, yeah, with the Timber Saw coming through, that'll cut him down to size pretty quickly. See if they can chase after and get a little bit more here. There's not much to slow him down, but there is the tier 2 coming up soon. Stormer turns around, goes for the life drain. It keeps him alive for a little bit longer, but yes, Nigma in their rotation do manage to kill 2 cores. And maybe even take an Ancient stack as well.
That was really well done by Nigma there. They had to collapse. Like, as you said, they brought 5. You need to be able to pursue and get kills. The downside of the draft, limited disable, but they have incredible damage, and they're just untargetable. MC is actually playing, like, the role of initiator. It's the second kill he's picked up with handy chakram and body usage.
I will say, those last 2 deaths are totally unnecessary, right?
True.
Like that was just a bit of a mystery. I understand Stormer's like, oh, I don't want to leave my captain behind and stuff, but like, there's 5 people. Like, you know, you could just take the L. Yeah. It's a small L. It's a lowercase L.
When you're healing somebody that dies, it's like that. You know, it's like when you ever seen the scenes in the movie where the guy is distracting the lions, raptors, whatever the creature is. He's like, hey, over here.
Yeah.
And then they start running after you.
Oh yeah.
You got to think that far.
Oh shit moment.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Why did I think this was a good idea? Yeah. Because now you've just been hurting yourself. Your frontliner's gone. Mind Control is being chased down right now. He's got a Dragon Tail in a second. If they can actually hit it with stopping him from Timber Chain, they do. And they get the kill. Mind Control falls.
Yeah, big rotation used, but worth it. Also, love the build from Ace. He's been off-screen farming, but top net worth, and he has the Armlet build. This was not a Midas or Radiance game. Armlet. The plus armor, super effective against ET, and it's necessary to be able to go toe-to-toe with heroes like Bristle and Ember Spirit. GH with a handy solo kill. Gilger looking to chase.
Tofu's not having a fun time playing this 1v1 game against GH. Ancient Apparition against Dark Willow. You're just like the freest kill. GH, nice jukes here, ensuring that the LSA doesn't catch him, but Decrepify still going to slow him down. They'll eventually get this kill. Oh, Terrorize.
He's still got TP.
He still does have a TP. He's going to get into the trees and try and TP. Big amount of burst damage. Rasmus. He is very tanky, but Timbersaw, it just makes any of these
basically running 3-2. He will be the strongest hero on map. And he's eyes, it starts out.
I got it. Splash combination barely being hit, and this is looking like now Nick can turn the tides a little bit here. They're poking at team. Just trying to help him out. Slide a little bit, turn around, just good map damage to mine. Warriors hit that one.
In this gear from Curl there, I think Spirit spin the wedge, stop the blink. Fencing away, so shouldn't have been able to there, but alas.
They found gonna get the they just need a little bit more damage to the Stormstormers. Finish him off. Tofu, he will be the biggest in here, but that is fine for Stormstormers, especially as they get a return kill on a GH who could actually get off the Shadow Realm. Get down by another ward. And sees his opportunity to be able to get initiation onto the Ember. Chain stun, he's dead. Triple kill for Stormstormer as they could just keep chasing. Throws down. The only thing that's stopping them from blinking, catching up, is the Quills, but Gilger, he can run it down, missing LSD. He does have the go first. Like maybe RMN's a little bit too much to handle. Apparently, not everyone got the memo that Rasmus won.
You'd say whatever you want. Mind Control's playing like a beast. It's an impossible Timber game. Just consistently every fight, but he's no stop type. It feels like he's necessary to. The chakram is like a disable, and
is it like that whole Rast is perfect as like Hellbear Smasher not on the same fight. It's like W 2 heroes left. You either choose to back up too tanky or you keep going. But whatever you do, you got to do it as a team.
Same as the first game, right? You make this mistake, and now it potentially leads right to a Roche. MC, be careful. Pipe a bit will absorb some of that lasting damage. Can't finish is the question.
It's getting a little dicey here. Fortunately, that's a really good sleight of fist. INPW stunned up, but the rest of the stunners aren't close enough by the Roshan pit. And it's low enough, in fact, that Hellbear Smashers, they could probably throw Wraith King it. He's got not gonna try for it. They're gonna smoke and wrap themselves all the way around.
Radiant are scanning.
They can get up onto the but Nigma, they know about this, I think. So that war that was on the ground should know. Smoke from Nigma. Break that smoke. IL2 charge to break this. He doesn't get caught. Really nice jumping from Mind Control. Much. No, he actually down pretty good, but the damage he did, quite nice. He's going to be into this fight as well. There was only one Ice Blast, so now he's coming in, and he's a monster. He cannot stop Smashers immediately. This fight, they're going to be, it did cost the on Mind Control, but now looking good. Push up that Roshan.
Mind Control, he's been a champion for literally years. Like the Cojones, he knows exactly what the plan is. He's gonna do max damage combo to hero. He'll die, he'll buy back. There's only the one Ice Blast. Be able to secure. There is a buyback on just the lean, but I don't think you can fight this anymore.
I don't know. I did Reddit comments that Control was washed up and down. So.
I mean, look at his net worth. He's got to have at this point, because I'm just watching instantly land on everybody.
This reward
right, it's close.
Transcends expectation.
Look at the net worth. No, you're buying this for a lot cheap.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying.
Okay, so we compare net worth.
How about damage? The damage taken.
No, damage taken. He's on top of the board, right?
I don't think we have those. No.
I bet that's still RMS.
It's possible. Either way, he knows what he has to do. We just die. He'll be going for the Lotus. They're going to need one of those. Here comes the Ice Blast. Oh no, Mind Control. I'm sorry. I did it to you.
He does Aegis, so They're going to be able to take that Aegis away, but if Nigma can make a rotation fast enough, they might be able to punish for this one. Mind Control knows it too. He's going to turn back in. He tries to catch somebody there at the Bramble. They've caught Stormer. And it's not like an Aegis for a full team fight, but that's a great pickoff. Oh, especially this as well, but they don't have a... All right, man, dropping an item there, but of course, Ace is not going to be stopping his team for everything.
I'm a little shocked, Stormstormer. You know, talk about builds that have no care for self-preservation. Octarine Core Death. Like, he's the save. He's the healing in the back line. And I understand the cast range and the CDR are excellent, but I am very, you know, we've seen even comms. Like, this is has been in before. When in doubt, you're the that's the strat. That's the game plan. So Stormstorm, you got to be really cautious. I like the warding. If you're Nigma now, just about getting vision, find backline so that you can buy 2 strength cores and just immediately find the AA, the Lina, the Pugna. You take them out quick, give ILTW the jump, that'll be your win condition.
It is a bit concerning that Nigma have been doing okay for themselves in the last couple of fights. I would say they've won the last engagements, but they're still down to earth. And am I wrong about this? I feel like Wraith King is going to be the best core in the game.
Yes and no. The ET is a bit equalizer.
Okay.
Here comes the smoke. There's now a BKB on the M. So Nigma should have an edge in this fight. And Bristle also, later on in the game, you kite Wraith King very effectively. It's going to be tough for Ace to win this game unless to take team fights starting out. Because if you're suddenly against 3 or number 2 net worth chart, that's when it gets really key for you.
Yeah.
Are scanning.
Right, well, they smoke in aggressively into enemy jungle here. Can push into lane. They take the 2, see if Nigma wants to trade or if they want to defend. Nigma may just go for maybe a bit of both. Need the Bristleback to hit the and make a smoke rotation, and Bristleback can TP in. They're actually going in, but they're fainting like they're just...
Radiant structures are fortified.
That's a very...
Here it comes. Gonna TP in. And shows Express team is right behind all the... Oh no, he blinked away. ILTW, he's on the hunt for the Yules. He's got a BKB to get up. Initiation only killing Gilgert here so far. Rasmus, he's in pretty far, and he's after Kurbo. But the rest of his team may need his stuns. Oh, fourth down, in to hit the stomp and TP out. That's the move. DH, he dies, but he's back. He sees that this is definitely dead. And Storm, well, he's gonna turn around and try and for this kill. Buyback on GH. He's got to terrorize. He's got to make sure that the will be chased. Man, and look out. Catching up to Tofu now. Hit so wasn't quite enough damage.
And that was a sick fight. You can see, say, LTW, he saw completely ignored, went straight for the Pugna, but a sick Stormer preserved some sense of ability to fight out. So really good play by Crows. You saw the 4-step in the comp. They killed, which is huge, and the Pugna. Oh, so Ugo Ball.
G8 is not going to be either. You can tell. Smith has taken a lot of bad damage here. Trade-off will be worth it if it's just that 1-for-1 so far. Actually, where did oh, that was his buyback. I forgot he's back, so he's been dead for a while.
He has the Lotus Orb finally. That was such a rough fight. He actually had, I believe, still affected by AA ult. Or no, sorry, he was. He died because he used his Timber Chain. Man, Rock killed him. It's really playing at Pugna as he was like, because you first the spell cast, and
yeah,
it's just not really. It doesn't feel right.
Need some help to Crabfly? Well, help him. Bristleback and doing just a lot of physical damage between Slight and Quill. So a good way to be able to save your allies. They're trying to work towards an Aghanim. Obviously, the pure damage should be... All these strength heroes are so dependent on the play to make sure they don't get Ice Blast plus nukes.
Oh,
damage per network. Ace having the least is not surprising because he's have the highest net worth.
Radiant's
Well, that
bottom
last
tower
fight,
is under attack.
still mind control in the fourth has gone up though. Less value, but
I'll keep on. I'll keep handing these. You keep grasping at him, all right?
No worries. I do best. Wraith King, level 18, max out ultimate as the AC, so that Swift will be very effective as the game goes on. It's the best item
Is under attack.
Titan. That is not the natural order.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scanning. Radiant's bottom tower is
And
under
yeah,
attack.
they're gonna get a Lotus Orb on RMN as well. That's the key item. You need those
Radiant's bottom tower
dispels.
has fallen.
Very good. You'll make Rasmus himself. You'll remove the full feet, the crowd, just necessary.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
He's really committed to this. You know,
Radiant's
now you
bottom
see
tower
don't
is under
style.
attack.
Glimmer after the blink. They
Dire's top tower
no
is
thought to
under
it.
attack.
Armor. No. I'm just gonna outplay you.
This is an example, like what had happened if you do get caught by it, and you have a second plan, but it's like, no, won't catch me in the first place.
Exactly. It worked out for like in that movie about the magicians, but plot armor. I don't think that Kuro and Squad are gonna
Armor's
the
the
writers.
protagonist of the.
I'm not sure the split of fan base and the viewership is, but in my experience, typically little Nigma favored.
Just a tad. Something about winning that it gives you a lot of fan. Then about being like Kuro helps a bit. Man. So old school captains, man. Rasmus has been around since Dota 1 is current.
Yeah.
Like,
And that's why we should understand what's on the line here. They're up. Keep in mind, like, he's never missed a TI. There's only two players that can say that. It's Kuro and Poppy, and punch. So, you know, need this win. They need, and they likely performance at
yep.
You know, otherwise, you know, we've seen over the last couple of days just how stacked the region is.
Yeah,
Lions beating everybody.
The next major isn't looking too hot. Points to TI. Yeah. Which means field is going to be really competitive for that one slot.
Imagine like an OG Nigma qualifier finals. Like the TI match, losers stays home, winner gets paid for 40 million. The benefit of a month to work on the roster, iron out the king, get back into championship form. But I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. Here comes the big battle.
Smith's inside of the pit. Immediately opening here onto mind control. They can net as fast they do. Laguna blow really does the trick. Half tell on ILTW jumping in real deep to go for Gilgir here, but the step into the unsay is going to force out. No, actually hold on to the BKB, jumping over like a pops the BKB. He's aced a little bit low, and they're going to go. No, he does still have reincarnation. He's toggling his arm, out Nick. The BKB used, traded out for a core. I guess they didn't back on Stormer.
Probably not.
Not the plot armor that he was hoping.
Not at all. And you can see inside of his item, as soon as he gets caught, he's dead. He is the save, and he's playing as if he's just better than everybody on this season. So far, yet to prove. See if the smoke will give him a chance.
Radiant are scanning. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Now 4-on-4, they get the scan, but it's still key.
They move all the way around like this. Otherwise, their smoke would have broken and they would have been fought war. Now the smoke breaks. It's the one to break. Oh, immediately jumps forward. Oh, goodness. There goes Kuro, but he buys back almost immediately. Rasmus down to half health. The Ice Blast is going to come through. The be decent. Have any more nukes left? Stormer's going to be gone on the Spider Legs will only carry it so far. Fine, he's just out. Smiths, he's going to have to battle it out with a low here. The support is easily going to be chased. They just do not have keep it away for fails. Ace. Nope. Lean up. Clean here, but it's looking like Nigma. I wonder, shot here, they going to go. Just Roche on there, like, all right, it's a value one.
I mean, Nigma looking to kill the Pugna, and the Pugna can't do anything about it. And dies back, dies again. With him gone, the damage out of Spears. Oko, unfortunately, get with the team. Smoke broke it. Pushes him and Storm left as the DK Wraith King. A nice kill. Kuro, 5 TP into the outpost.
Yeah.
Suddenly, you're now just and number there for the Hellbear Smash, and just that little bit of disconnect hurts them in the end.
Attention on initiation that came out from Help. You want to see DK, boys, get up. Your backline spellcasters have free space, but that wasn't what happened. They do finally have for the Linas. There's still the possibility that with a stun in an Ice Blast in its full combo, that any of these heroes, but just need to find the and also the Aegis, Cheese, and potential.
Who took the shot? Ember Spirit did, so he now refresh. Gets a kill, and they also do that AoE damage. Really love how LTW's played this game. I think the guided position was perfect. The BKB so that he could fight, and now the Ags targets.
Yule's just in time. GH. Counter Yule's by Gilger. But very, very stuck. And Help is looking a little bit lost now. So they're going to have to hold on to the high ground and hope that Nigma somehow make a fatal error. $7,000 lead for Nigma at 35-26. Game of the series with Nigma.
Hey!
1-0.
Look!
What?
Get me queued up, Cap. That's what I'm talking about. That's a great item. Makes you immune to spells, stuns, disable. Fantastic. I recommend everybody at home, you should pick one of those up.
Like right order.
Whenever you want. I don't think, oftentimes might not be the perfect item, but I have not heard many coaches, casters, analysts, pro players said it was a really bad idea to buy the BK.
Bad BKB game, really.
Never happens. So I remember talking to my brother about first picking Rubik, and he's like, what if they counter? It's like, you can't counter Rubik. You can't do bad spells.
Okay, Gilger chained outside of the base. That's not your backline spellcaster in the position he wants to be in. Fortunately, forced that thing and gets away. Nice D ward already placed. You can see these teams have a very similar idea in both of these games of where they be, because they know where the fights are very likely going to be happening. RMN just loves dropping items around. I wouldn't. You in deep here. They get the stun on him. No, he gets off the BKB off. And Gilger, well, he turns around, throws out the Laguna Blade, but of course should be rather dead here. The Glimmer Cape plus to grab the fly, offering him some opportunity, but ILTW not hit by the say. So Gilger is up again. Minute on the clock for him, and Masters are gonna have to once again head back inside their base, unless Ace, he's gonna go for Kuro here. He knows he does not have buyback right now. Light Drain doing a lot of damage to the Timber Saw, but he pops it. He's gonna be back to the full. Rasmus being run down. LW and all that magic damage. First life, 81. ILTW getting a little bit low here, but he still has a minute on the Aegis, so he's willing to play that dangerous frontline position for his team. Nigma, never successful fight, but they don't push it too much. They just hold the base, or hold up a little bit longer.
To chill a little bit, they ran up. The LTW is probably saying, guys, doesn't spawn here. I will not really have that many tools to out. I love the build. The 8 Octarine. Not really a build we see too often anymore on the Ember Spirit, but it's so good here just because he's catch. And really, it's not about the damage. It's about finding the right targets and consistently Pugna, all guns blazing for those throws.
May not have the DK. They won't have Dragon Form. He's backed up. Smashers are still and take the fight. You see RMN with his fresh overwhelming blink.
It's a good
level 25.
It's a good title for the way that they're trying to play this game, which is just get in. Well, it's ignore Ace. Who cares about him? He's not really able to deal enough these 3 cores of Nigma.
I'm gonna start poking at him now because that's outside of the base. Rasmus popping his BKB to try and get initiation here.
RMN feeling himself. I don't really see Nigma ever like with their voice line span.
Yeah.
But RMN, you know,
RMN.
this much time in the sun.
Hey, what do you do, Curry? Are you gonna kick hands over here? I'm just standing in right now.
No. Speak of either, he's just a BKB bot at this point. And unfortunately, well, now that they've had that time to itemize, 3K health on the Bristle, 3K health BKB on the Ember, 3.2 on Bind, along with that Aeon disc, plus all these Lotus Orbs, suddenly that 100-0 and a stun lock isn't really possible. Oh, they got him. No BKB, they know it.
Yep. They jump him into SWAT. Bail him out right now with a live drain. They're trying to keep Rasmus alive, and it's doing a little bit of work, but it only stalls inevitable for a couple of seconds. He's going to buy back now because it's the trouble. They're trying to save each other, but it just going to drown as Nigma washing over them bit by LTW is fearless. He continues to charge in after Hero who bounces it. He needs to. Gilger somehow running the opposite of his base. Stay alive. But LTW catches up to him. They got buybacks as well. Smashers, they're not out just yet, but the net worth difference here is growing quite a bit.
Yeah, it's just hard. There's too much cat. You could see Stormer, he didn't leave his base. He recognized the moment I identify myself, you know, they're just gonna come for me, and he still doesn't have a BKB, so there's really nothing, you know, no force stab. Oh, but hey, they found.
But I'm inside here. He's not too far from his base, so he could probably still get out of here. The rest of his dragon form has failed out here. Tofu having a TP from his base to his fountain.
Yeah, and maybe the Ember, sure, but he's the minimum duration. So no big deal. The Octarine as well. It's a less than 1 minute cooldown. Let's see, what's the saving grace? Trying to see, how do you get back into this if Hellbear Smashers? Ace, he's going for the Swift Link. Help, but it's just like, who do you kill?
Yeah, they need a way to be able to control by you because he's doing so much in these fights. Rasmus is out way deep. Maybe he can blink. He does. Now, opportunity maybe help him out, but it looks a little too far away. BKB got to get us. Will hit Mike. The Aeon disc will keep him topped off. It's a chance rebuttal from Hellbear Smashers. Ace also found here, this time on the other side of the map. Smashers split all over the place. They're running out to try and save Ace here on this line, but my control's here. Line of A. And real quickly, with the terrorize and the whirling, you could see Ace just, Hellbear Smashers, they just seem to be out of it right now. They get apart constantly, and as they're getting picked apart, they seem to be desperate to try and push, and it just means Nick are getting more and more opportunities to pick them apart. Vicious cycle. And now, without the frontliners, in supports, and even Storm look awfully scared for their lives here.
TW and RMN have played a hell of a game. 15-1-11 on the Ember. RMN 8-1-14, but just playing so clean everywhere, just constantly diving. Now, Stormer, there still isn't one Ace. You can see there's just too much control for him to deal with. He got off attacks, 2 lives.
Retreat, retreat, retreat. Stormstormer keeps on poking at them and blocking it, or he gets caught. He's losing objectives in the process. Second lane of barracks. First lane of barracks, rather, down. Nigma can start. The second one at one, but the Wraith King is coming back. Wraith King's buyback because ultimately 5-on-5s are hard enough, and they do not have a buyback on Rasmus, so a 4-on-5 seems near impossible.
LTW just style. Got the Glepnir. I don't know if I've ever seen this item in a professional. Isn't in this set. It's just out of slots. Like, I need something. Even more control now. Arcane Rune to boot. He is incredibly tanky.
Certainly help, but he doesn't have anything to get himself out of this sticky situation. Supports a lot easier.
He has the Arcane Rune and full remnants up to 4 charges. That's more than minutes or 2 hours.
Here he joins and immediately jump near onto the 2 supports. A Yule Scepter from Gilker, but he doesn't have anything to get himself out of this sticky situation. A-Star back. It's already over. Hellbear Smashers. Back to the base they go. ILTW looking at. They will manage to find Tope here. The Ice Blast last game just before he dies. Neither one of the supports has a buyback. And even when Stormstormer is able to just chill out inside of his fountain, Nigma can still win this fight. But instead, they're going to opt for objectives, get megas, while Hellbear Smashers don't have the buybacks. Time to put an end to this series, it's looking like, as Stormstormer steps forward and finally does get caught. He's going to use the BKB, clear off all those stuns.
Yeah, don't forget also, just Kuro with his spirit is removing all of these heroes in a magical resist.
Yeah.
It's a very chill ET game.
Gilger coming back. Tries to help Stormstormer. Does have a little bit of play. They do manage to get the kill, and he actually doesn't have buyback. So they get megas, but Nigma won't be able to end the game just yet, and especially if they can actually get these kills. Ace is going in deep here, and he's going to die, slowing everybody down, giving an opportunity for more of spells to be casted on Nigma. They've now killed 2 of the cores, and everybody else is free for them. And just as long as they have the disables to be able to catch them, all of these kills should be theirs. Hellbear Smashers finally winning a fight. Feels like they've lost the last 10, 15 engagements. They finally win one, but it comes at a cost of megas.
Talk about a... Was it a Pyrrhic victory? Pyrrhic victory? I don't know how the hell to pronounce it.
Yeah, but yeah, P-Y-R.
See, I can spell it better than I could say it, but I'm not going to try to do that either.
Pyrrhic, I believe, is the term.
Either way, they get some time to collect themselves.
Sure.
Consider the status of their base. Roshan is available with the refresher. You know, they're not out of it. I mean, talk about a rapier hero. It's queued, and Ace, he's thinking about it. He'll have the gold. ILTW just, you know, the burst damage, I think, yeah, the Laguna just shreds him. But he is also under tier 2s, and there are 5 heroes there.
Yeah, he pretty much committed to kill Stormstormer, barely missed out on the kill. And
it's not over. Rapier is selected. He's going to have Aegis on the Wraith King.
Okay.
This game is not over yet. You just have to deal with ILTW. Now, keep in mind, check out the buyback status. They don't have any on this Dire side. Not a single... Oh, sorry, no. Mind Control, of course, he's got his. The one responsible player on the team. Everybody else
GH2.
not got the gold.
GH2.
Okay.
They're 2 responsible players.
I guess ILTW's got his soon. He'll have to farm up a little bit, but, you know, just be conservative. Push the lanes. Poke and prod. Let the creeps do most of the work.
Who took the
refresher? Wraith King.
Oh, it was refresher? Okay.
They might have preferred an Ags, but I actually don't even know who it would have gone to.
Oh, it was maybe Wraith King.
Yeah,
just because
that's
everybody's
true.
having struggling to stay alive. If they die, at least they can
I'm
get some
surprised
spells off
we
still.
don't see more Wraith King Axe. It's pretty bonkers. Like, it's one thing, it's like, okay, we survive an extra 7 seconds. You also get 70 attack speed, 25 move speed. 25% move speed.
Yeah.
Like, that's pretty good. You can still spell cast and, like, auto attack.
Really is.
You're untargetable.
Return of the King sort of situation. These ghosts just swarming over you.
That's the only part, by the way, of the entire trilogy that was a bit off to me. It's like, why didn't we just... Like, I understand the whole thing with the Oath and everything, but couldn't we just extend that to, hey, go
Ace
get
is
rid of
in.
all the bad guys?
He gets a couple of swings onto ILTW. The Ice Blast is coming in as well. That's also going to land onto ILTW, but his BKB is keeping him rather healthy here. Gilgar going to be chain stunned up right now, but Rasmus does manage to get in there. The problem is the damage, even with the Divine Rapier, is looking kind of wimpy. Nigma just continue to kite around Ace constantly while killing all of his allies. Ace has got another blink coming up here. So you can jump back in. No, they're going to hold around the tier 4s while their Lena's dead. But Gleipnir, mind control, missing out. Chain just a little bit shy. Definitely could have killed Rasmus. May end up losing his life as a result. Trades out for Rasmus here. Ace trying to find something to hit. But good golly, Miss Molly. He just cannot seem to actually hit heroes for very long. He just kited around constantly. Stormer, committed, and inside of the fountain, ILTW does manage to get him. Make a creep swarming in. Stormer's gonna buy back here, but look at this. This damage. This Pugna just doesn't do anything. Half the time he's being Lotus Orb, so RMN is getting a life drain right back onto him. The other half of the time, it's Ace. He gets like 2 swings in, and then he either dies or the enemy heroes run away from him.
He's trying his best, Cap.
He really is, but at this point, it feels like his throne is going to die before he dies. Stomp lands on a 2. Stormer being caught here. Not too good for the Smashers, is now the throne being at half health. The Ice Blast is going to come through the Laguna Blade, but it's still, they're rather healthy, especially with Ace being stuck inside the brambles, constantly stomped, brambled, slept, stunned up again by the Curse Crown. Stormer is like trying to stop this as best he can, but he's actually losing more HP than Nigma is, despite all the life training. ILTW is trying to kill them inside of the base right now, while Ace is dealing with the creeps as the creeps continue to march forward onto the throne. Nigma play it out nice and slow. Ace, he spots the Kuro, and he's like, enough of you. I'm tired of this stomp. But if he walks away from his throne, Nigma start gunning for it. They do pop the glyph, and that's going to be able to buy them a second chance here as Ace continues to move forward. Eye control, jumping outside of the base now, but the creeps keep on pushing forward. Stormer throwing his life on the line, but ILTW in the back will finish it off in style, jumping over and finishing off the throne. A 2-0 as Nigma, they had some fun winning this series against Hellbear Smashers.
Oh, they're all smiles, too. That's a fun one to close out. You're a little frustrated you can't do it with Ace, but, I mean, they're just... It's like he's tied to a tree, and they're just dancing around him as they slowly kill the throne. That was Defense of the Ancients, and unfortunately, he just can't hit anybody long enough. Like, he's maxed out. It's still not enough, Cap.
Nigma, they certainly just... totally broke down this Ace Wraith King. Farm as much as you want. It doesn't matter how many items you have if you're always stunned. Pretty wild game. 51 minutes in the end, but was very convincing. Despite having a stand-in of their coach and RMN and playing the mid lane for them, a role that he is not totally experienced with, they still managed to pretty easily, I would say, bring down Hellbear Smashers in a 2-0.
Thank you, Cap and Kyle. Yeah, if only there was an item that could prevent you from getting stunned. Who knows? We're going to talk about Game 2, about the series, and, of course, talk to one of the winners very, very soon. Press the button. No.
It didn't work. It's not working.
It's not working.
After the break.
After the break. 2-0 in favor of Team Nigma here against the Hellbear Smashers. And to be fair, it looked like the Smashers were actually having a good shot this game. They started out pretty strong, and then mid-game comes around, they stop playing together, and they're all on their own islands, and it didn't really click. And I'm here with T and Fog, and they're also going to be fairly critical on Hellbear Smashers, while also praising Team Nigma, because they did remain calm in the face of what looked to be a scary lineup from the Smashers.
And they knew who to enable. They knew who should be the sacrificial lamb every single time. Mind Control being that sacrifice, allowing RMN and ILTW to have an excellent game. ILTW had like one of the rougher lanes possible for the Ember Spirit too, and he ends up just completely going out of control. T, how much damage did he do?
He did 91,700 damage.
Highest damage by far in the game, almost double the next, I believe it was. Unbelievable performance from him. And RMN literally dying like once, right? I think in the game too. Just, they always knew which ones to enable, and My Control tanked like every AA blast in the game.
I mean, it was...
He did. No,
he literally tanked every
had like
AA
a show
blast.
of ice blast. I was like, timber. Yeah, he died a lot to the ice blast.
I mean, you need to have one of those,
I mean, you just got to soak it up. You know, when you got two big boys, if big boy A tanks it, guess what big boy B does? He doesn't tank it. RMN just pops off 12, 2, and 15 on him. And yeah, just a really good game from the stand-in. It's, incredible performance, honestly.
It is great performance. We're also going to hear from Purge, and he has something to say about the Tanky Boys. Also, the Tanky Boys versus the Chain Stuns.
Thank you, Shiver. Yeah, Chain Stunning is the name of the game for the Hellbear Smashers this game. With Dragon Knight offlane, which laned well against the Elder Titan, it gives them a great person to initiate to start their combos. First stun, follow-up stun, here's an Ice Blast. There's one Ice Blast that didn't hit Mind Control. And this is like the glory team fight for Hellbear Smashers. They get one pick off, and then they can use that to have a hero advantage for the rest of the engagement. The other really cool thing about the lineup is the Pugna plus AA combo. If you're decrept, and you have Ice Vortex on the ground, you're taking close to a little bit more than like 100% extra damage from magic damage. So it basically doubles everybody's nuke damage, which is why they had such a good shot in these early mid-game fights. But the downside is that later on in the game, what started happening is the Nigma heroes were good at diving the back line. And both the Lina as well as the AA did not have very good ways to defend themselves, and they didn't have enough like big AoE team fight to make that happen either. Mind Control did take most of the nukes here, but here's the problem. A has already used his combo. Whether he was dead or alive, it would still be a little bit iffy. And while Decrep was useful in some of these moments to buy them some time, once BKBs came online, these fights ended up being a little bit harder. Got to skip forward a little bit here to about this moment. Smashers going for a fight in the enemy jungle, and what's going to happen is they put their initiators in the front, 2 Blink Daggers on both of these guys, and on the Nigma side they've got Ember, and when he gets close he gets the Searing Chains, and basically the whole fight is won at this point, because now Mind Control can be the guy that goes in, and he gets 2 of the heroes all the way down to 30% at the start of the fight while they get to follow up with that. And yeah, he's going to get blown up right now as he does, taking all of this damage, but he prevented Smashers to do what they want to do, which is jumping in first, doing a chain stun on a guy that ideally isn't Timbersaw, and they just buy back Timbersaw anyways, which gives them the potential to run down their opponents. And then later on, another crucial fight in the Roche Pit. Rasmus goes in, here's Mind Control dying again to everything, and now they're running for their lives. Now, one thing that happened was Pugna used his Spider Legs here to run around a little bit, and he went to cast Life Drain on the Timber, and by doing so, his Spider Legs ended up out here, which pushed him into the Roche Pit. So he ends up getting caught by the Stomp here. He ends up getting completely separated, and here's the BKB timings that they can use to dive the backline. Jumping onto Lina, this happened so many fights in a row. ILTW did such a good job in making sure Lina didn't get multiple rounds of stun in, and as a result, it just became Dragon Knight and Wraith King being kited, being ran at, and it just made it so much harder for Hellbear Smashers to fight. So Nigma bought time and eventually got to those survivability moments and allowed their tanky heroes to shine.
Yeah, and their tanky heroes that definitely shine. On the other side, I do want to quickly talk about Hellbear Smashers as well, because I think that a lot of people are with me when they say, like, this game 2, Fogged, should have been theirs.
Yeah, they had great setups and great ways to disable heroes, but Ace's build for me was a little bit weird. The Echo Saber, I could see what he was trying to go for, but never getting a BKB was the really weird thing, because I saw several fights where GH would Curse Crown him, throw him in the air, he drops down, he puts Brambles, throw him up again, maybe even solo kill him as the Willow, comes back, puts more Brambles. He just controlled Ace in some of these fights completely, and in the meanwhile, you look at ILTW, diving past to the back, killing the AA and the Lina, also controlling Pugna. They're just doing so much more with that Ember Spirit, and just, yeah, Ace unable to actually stick on any heroes because of no magic immunity.
Ooh, and I believe we are now connected to none other than the man of the match. It's Armen. Hello, sir. Can you hear us?
Good day. Hello.
Good day. Hello. We can indeed hear you. Congratulations on the series, first of all. And Armen, I have to ask, you know, you're playing professionally. This series here looked great. Do you ever get jitters to go back to not coaching but playing instead?
I mean, the urge is always there to play. I mean, I love the game, but I am kind of happy with my position, to be honest.
That's fair enough. Definitely fair enough. I have to also ask, you played Bat, Bristleback. They seemed like great fits for you. We know you're pretty high on the Bat Rider numbers of games. How did you decide the heroes with your team? Did you already beforehand say, hey, you know what? If you put me mid, these are the heroes I want to play?
Yeah, of course we did on short notice prepare. Like I let my team know which heroes I play, and yeah, we decided for those.
Was there ever
very noob friendly heroes?
Well, you're definitely not a noob, Armen. That was really short.
I'm kidding.
Was there ever an idea of changing the roles of the rest, like you not going mid, but you maybe playing either support or offlane or something else other than mid, or was it always like, okay, you know what, I'm standing in for Miracle, so I am going mid regardless?
I mean, we did think about like getting another stand-in, but in the end decided to go this route since I believe we didn't want to change up too much things. As in, Miracle is out, I just go mid, so we don't have to swap more roles and just that.
It worked out great.
No, Armen, hey, good to talk to you. It's been some time. I haven't seen you in some time, of course.
Nice to talk to you.
Yeah. You know, we had our opinions here about, you know, MVPs and stuff like that. I know you're a bit of a humble dude, but who do you think actually was your guys' MVP in the series? Because for us, we actually were choosing you because you look great. Your Bat Rider was phenomenal, and just the stuff that you're doing on Bristle was really impressive. So, just wanted to hear your opinion.
Happy to hear that, but if I had to choose one player, I think it will go to GH.
Okay.
Spellcasting is something else this game.
Awesome.
Game 2.
All right.
All right. Again, congrats on the win. My question is, I was looking at Pro Tracker, looking at you and Kuroki, and it says that you haven't been playing pubs. Are you playing on Smurfs potentially, or are you just like not really playing recently? Again, you and Kuroki, that is. Sorry.
Snapman. How do I comment on this?
Yeah, because he's not allowed to say certain things.
Okay. So they're not playing on main accounts. Fair enough. I was just wondering if you focus pubs. I know some pro players, for example, they've taken a step back from just grinding out pubs, for example, and they
focus on scrims.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was mainly the question. Are you focusing more on scrims or pubs then between you guys?
I can speak for myself. I do play pubs occasionally, but I mean everyone does play pub in this team. Or did I misunderstand the question a bit?
No,
it just doesn't show that we're playing on these accounts, I assume.
Okay, sure. Okay, so you do have other accounts. That's the main question then. Thank you. All right.
And
busted.
You know, Armen, this is not the first time that you stand in for the team, of course. Do you feel like, you know, since this is now the third time that this happened within a year, are you putting maybe extra pressure and thought into like, okay, you know what? There is a chance that at some point I'm gonna have to bust this baby out in a pro match. Like, are you putting extra pressure on your pubs that way?
Not really. I mean, I'm always ready to step in if like help is needed, but I don't have any special approach for that case.
Okay, that's fair enough. I mean, you've also been standing in for multiple different roles, so very, very versatile. It was an absolute pleasure seeing you play today. We obviously wish the best to Miracle as well. So if you could pass that along, that'd be great. But we're gonna let you go. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us, and congratulations once again.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Yeah, I mean, Team Nigma also, they needed this win. We can take a look at the standings because, sure, sad for Hellbear Smashers that they lost here, but their performance here kind of show that they are at the moment where they belong. They have not looked too good after the first opening series that they've played, and they are 0-5 right now, so that means that their fate is no longer in their own hands, right?
And they have to play such awkward games now. They've got to play Alliance.
Yeah.
You know, they just lost to Brame, but they also need to play Brame. So they need to win those remaining two series, finish 2-5, and then hope that Brame also goes 2-5, with then Tundra or Secret or OG somehow also losing their
remainder of their games.
And it is tough to stay, honestly, to stay positive after some rough games for sure. You know, these dudes start to affect and start to wear down onto you when you haven't gotten a win. They haven't gotten a win in quite some time, right?
You know, it's been 5 games since they had a win.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have been able to, at least of the 3 of their 5 series, have been 2-1 losses. So they have had some type of momentum going their way, but yeah, not enough to string at least one series win to their name.
Yeah, but I also think like a lot of the games that they didn't win on the first couple of series, they looked good still. I feel like today we did not see the team the way that we saw them before.
Yeah, I will say the team it feels like they are deteriorating a little bit, where like the start, we're like, okay, they're losing 2-1, but like they're still showing their class for the division. And then now it's kind of getting to the point where the last 2 series have been 2-0s, and they just feel like they're slowly losing pace, and maybe their identity and their approach to the game isn't maybe as to the level of other teams so far, or it just something's not clicking right now, and you have to hope something does click, so maybe they can get tiebreakers. You never want to see a team just finish like 0-6, 0-7, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, that would be very scary, and that would send them, I mean, not only to the lower division for potentially next season, but also it just puts them in a bit of a mental tough spot if they would play in the TI qualifiers, because that's what the teams are playing for, right? I mean, Hellbear Smashers, their chances of major gone.
Yep.
So they play for the qualifiers, fogged.
Yeah, it's tough. It really is tough to see when, you know, it's like with Matt Rasmus too, like a couple of his games have looked quite rough for him too. I know how the way he is. He does take it quite hard, so hopefully he can at least try to pick himself up a little bit with some of these things, but yeah, it's not going to be easy for them. They're going to need quite some team talks to figure things out.
Yeah. Let's end this segment on a positive note, though, because Team Nigma, even though they missed Miracle here, they still looked very, very good.
They did.
Definitely. Like, we said at the start, like, oh, you know, Miracle missing, this is going to be a tough one. It wasn't tough.
No. I mean, our man said it in the interview, right?
Yeah.
You have to play the noob-friendly heroes, right? A bat and a bristle.
It's not a noob-friendly hero. Bristle, I can make a case for that. You know, you're sturdy, but no.
No, but yeah, he got to play these heroes that had nice timings, and his bat, he's like level 26 something in game, right? Like he clearly knew how to play the heroes, and he fit in nicely. And also for Nigma, they only have to play, it's like OG and Tundra, teams below them in the group. So if anything, they have everything in their hands to get to the major. It's not like they need to play up against the better teams, and
now they have confidence as well too, right? That even with a stand-in, they can still put some big numbers. Even if like an early game looks a little bit problematic, they can still bring games back. They can still be positive together, even without Miracle.
Yeah, I mean, this was a great showing from them indeed. Definitely a lot of hope also for their future games and for their performance at the major. If they do indeed make it there with their full roster as well. That was the case last time around where they were struggling, but enough upper division for the moment. It is time to move over to our lower division series. The final series of the night will be Chicken Fighters versus Ghost Frogs. Now, before that series start, we have about a 10-minute-ish break because there's a hard starting time for that series, of course, as well. So we will be back with more Dota 2 in the lower division of the Western European DPC League after the break.